Welcome back, my mighty Reds. You've tuned into Liverpool 12th Man show, and hopefully you've tuned into the right show. I think you have, and hopefully I can prove that to be so. This is your go-to home for everything Liverpool FC, from behind-the-scenes drama to breaking transfer buzz or news. I'm 12th Man, just as much as you are, and today we have one of the more loaded episodes of the summer, I would say, because as you could tell, I was a little bit perturbed over the announcement, and then reading and finding out more about it, I ended up recognizing that it's more than just Pep Lijnders that is making the move from red to blue. So Pep Lijnders has officially joined Manchester City. Yes, that's right. I said Manchester City, Manchester City. But Luis Diaz is also apparently whispering to Barcelona. Stefan Bajcetic is under the knife again, which is not something I wanted to say, nor something I wanted to hear. Our long, I guess you call it the Wirtz Watch. How about that? I'll even say it like that. Wirtz Watch is reaching its boiling point for a lot of us. We've got stats, statements, scandals, storylines galore. So buckle up and let's get into it. Because with us we have Lee and we have Brian from who just wrapped up his own show as well on the Anfield Irishman. So big up to everyone joining us. Brian, how are you doing today?
A little bit. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm not too bad now. I'm all right.
Okay. I hope that whatever's up,
Just
you can get through
in those days, it's just a bit stiff in the back, a bit of pain here, just an uncomfortable day. Do you know what I mean? Just like
oh, got you. Understood. No,
yeah.
You just wake up on the wrong side of the bed type deal.
Totally. And arm, the whole thing. Literally slept on one part of my body. Yeah. Just feeling getting old, man. Getting old. This is a new seat as well. It's not working out very well.
Yeah, lower back pain becomes a topic of discussion once you become middle-aged.
Yeah.
I've done me back in.
Yeah, I've got one of the really bad one there. What's it called? Hernia. Isn't that in your back? Your hernia is at the bottom and the back of your back.
Shout out to Abdul. He was here from the gate. Shout out to Jared. Realism Jared in the house. Shout out to Unscripted Sports Show. Shout out, that's my brethren from the Philadelphia area. Holds it down. Shout out to Lee WizKid, Alexander. Shout out to you as well. And big shout out to Football Talk Podcast, who is a fellow content creator. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. And also my one of my main scouts in the Asian market, the Asian playing field, and Tarmizi. We like to talk about a lot of the Asian players that are playing either in Europe or just abroad. Definitely big up. He was just giving me an update on Kubo captaining, being the captain of the team. Some people thought that it was a wrap for Kubo, but Kubo is captain of the team. And also Kamada having a absolute great game today too, a brace, as Japan really brought the hammer today. Shout out to Scottish Bear. Shout out to Edward. Big up to each and every one of you, my Reds. Definitely big up. Appreciate you joining, because I'm going to also bring to the show Lee. Lee, how are you doing today?
Excellent. Good, yeah. Really good, yeah. Looking forward to all this, when this transfer starts happening after the World Club Cup. Don't mind having a little break. I was hoping something would be done beforehand, but, I'm looking forward to it anyway. Nice and excited about what's happening at the club.
Okay. I'll have to give Fatboy Slim a shout, but definitely I wish. I know my thing is. My thing is buffering hopefully a little bit, but like the praises of the song, I like to praise you like that, that song. Got to 500 finally. I've hit 500 episodes a long time ago, but finally got to 500 subs, on to 1,000 and onward. From infinity to beyond, like some say, or that what's that? Buzz Lightyear. Is that what I think it is? I don't know. All right, before I get too much on a weird tangent, let me get into what we came here to talk about, my friends and family. In a headline that has probably left many of us, or some of us at least, angry, feeling betrayed, possibly furious, maybe confused. Former assistant Pep Lijnders has officially joined Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. This comes just 16 months after Lijnders vowed he'd never, and I quote, never assist anyone but Jurgen Klopp. Fast forward through a failed spell at Salzburg. Now he's Pep's number 2. But here's the twist. Klopp, Arne Slot, even FSG president Mike Gordon reportedly gave Lijnders their blessing. Klopp praised them as the most influential guy at Liverpool in recent years, while Guardiola consulted Klopp personally. Pep personally went to Klopp before making his approach. And if that wasn't enough to raise your eyebrows, Liverpool's longtime opposition analyst, as Lee was talking to me about earlier, and set piece coach James French has also joined City. French has been with Liverpool since 2012. It's 13 years. So this is no minor defection. It's a full-on intelligence leak, if you ask me. Let's not forget that there is currently no official assistant manager named under Arne Slot, but reports say Lijnders was never under consideration. You could ask why. Maybe he knew how he was able to do very good things for Klopp, and some might think he wasn't. He was possibly some of the reasons why Klopp didn't achieve this, or didn't achieve that. Others might give him the admiration of knowing that he helped Klopp do this or do that. But because the Slot-Hulshalt dynamic is too tight to risk disrupting, they never thought about bringing Pep Lijnders in. And instead, Liverpool may bring back Marino Pusic with a different role. So, if this is happening, or it is not if, it's more like is, I'm going to ask the panel. I know you guys talked about it a little bit, but I'm sure some of the audience here would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. Shout out to Thomas and out there. I see you. Is Lijnders moving to City a betrayal or just a professional move with Klopp's blessing? I have a follow-up question, but I'm going to start that off. And I'll ask Lee first, then I'll ask Brian his opinion on that.
In my eyes, it's not a betrayal now, because as soon as he was out the door, I forgot about him. So I'm not bothered. In a nutshell, to keep it short and sweet, I am not bothered about it now. I'm not sure he'll achieve anything there anyway, so it's it doesn't really mean a lot to me that he'll be in the background at City now. This is what he's best at, obviously, being in the background. So good luck to him. Let him be in the background somewhere else, down the East Lancs Road, a few miles.
Okay. Brian, professional move or betrayal, basically?
I told you I never liked the guy.
Yeah, I know that.
There's just no, but I don't even mean I know this. Like I was saying to Lazar, it's just one of those things. some actors, you know, some musicians, or you know, some people on TV. It's, I just never liked that guy. That guy, I never liked him. That guy who plays him. There's just
Mhm.
something about the guy. Just never liked him.
Mhm.
I don't think it. Yeah, I mean, he looks a bit silly now because he's come out with the whole I'll never be an assistant to anyone else again," you know, kind of giving it the big Oscar speech, kind of, "I can never work under another coach."
Mhm.
Uh, but then, you know, being unemployed for 6 months kind of comes along and hits him in the face. So, um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't, you know, it's to me, it's like there's layers to everything. It's like, yeah, it is a professional move, but it's like, it's kind of, oh, by the way, I'm going to go and start. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I get that you're unemployed and you need a job, but you know how that looks, right? You know how
Mhm.
that looks.
Yeah.
It looks like a total dick
Absolutely.
move. So if you're
Absolutely.
going to go and yeah, you have to look after your family, you have to have a job. I don't give a shit, you know, like you're gone now, don't really care about you. But okay, interesting choice because you know it makes you look like a bit of a dick, right?
Yeah.
You know? But after that, once he's like, I'm with Lee, it's just I was never his not that I disliked the guy, I just never really took to him. If that's
Mhm.
the more uh, definite way of saying, never really took to him. Just so the fact that he's gone there, like I know Barney was kind of saying earlier on about like I don't think he's gonna bring any particular knowledge of anything that like he's gone. We've got a whole new backroom staff, a whole new team. Most of the people that were here when he's working have left. A couple other people have left this week. So I'm not really worried about anything like that. So but yeah, I just think it's his personality, I suppose.
It hurts them. It hurts more for me in that you're right. Not many people. Not there are a lot of us that were either appreciative of him. Not many people were like, oh, Team Pep or whatever. But they would be as far as to say that they were at least appreciative of the fact of the years that both him and Klopp brought us, in the sense of the accomplishments that we gained through their guidance. But more so, it was about the fact that he got in front of a camera and spoke about how his kids are even more Scouse than possibly Dutch.
Mm.
He spoke about how it means, he was like on some it means more type like perception of what Liverpool was about to him. He understood the heritage. He understood all the nuances of everything that goes with it. And yet he still was like, okay, yeah. Because it's not like you haven't been through the trenches of knowing that Manchester City has been the most major obstacle in our path towards winning the Premier League. And now you're about to go and help that team in whatever way you can achieve those goals, become an even bigger possible obstacle. That to me is a betrayal.
Do you think the media will start referring to them as Pep L and Pep G, or start calling Pep Guardiola Joe because he's Joseph? So like just start. And when he says, "Why are you calling me Joseph?" We want to show due deference to Pep Lijnders, the new assistant manager.
Right,
We
right.
didn't want to upset him, so we've relegated you to being called Joe Guardiola.
I mean, like, I don't know. I did look for some quotes to try to get some what Klopp had said about the actual. I read like an article, but it didn't really give any proper like, oh, I gave him my blessing and I think he's a great coach and none of that stuff. But obviously, Klopp giving the blessing, Arne Slot giving the blessing. I can almost kind of give Arne Slot a slight pass on it because A, it's a fellow Dutchman, and B, with Slot, he hasn't really had to go through the experiences of knowing what City means and what City brings and how City works. Like, You don't want to give them anything to kind of give them an upper hand or even some type of, not even advantage, but even any type of help, in my opinion.
But sorry, I didn't see anything about.
And Mike Gordon, all three gave their thumbs up on it happening. It's kind of disappointing too, as well.
I have to say, Pep Lijnders appeared to have a book in his right pocket of his tracksuit bottoms there, doesn't he? It looks like there's a book in there, so he must be jotting things down. Wasn't he?
Right. The only thing I can. Oh, go ahead, Brian. I know you want to say something. Go ahead,
Brian. No, I'm just saying I've seen a story that Pep asked Jurgen, not like as a not like as a, for a reference basically. Just and Klopp said, "Oh no, he's great. He's this and he's that. He's a great coach." But I haven't. This is news to me that Arne Slot gave his blessing. I haven't seen.
Yeah, in the article I read, Klopp, Arne Slot, and Mike Gordon were all listed, or were all listed as people that were like, "It's we back the move. He has our blessing." Type situation.
Well, that's what maybe best wishes, maybe. So, but I don't see why Arne Slot would have any.
Arne Slot would probably have some, not mess. Maybe Arne Slot does.
What did he say?
Well,
no?
I know that it was with James French going. That's part of his coaching. That's part of his coaching staff.
No, I'm just wondering why Arne Slot would have to give his. Klopp coming out and saying. Lijnders never worked for Slot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just to intro. I don't know why they're dragging him into it. I think it's this is all about Lijnders and Klopp. I think it was on Romano. Romano said Pep contacted Adam Lallana as well when they played Southampton. He made time to talk to Adam Lallana to ask Lallana about Lijnders, and he basically rang Jurgen Klopp, and Klopp gave him he just said, "Look, I'm not asking for." Not like his hand in marriage, like you ring the dad before you ask the daughter or anything but it's just kind of you've worked with him, what's he like? And he gave him a glowing reference. I think was he was instrumental in us winning this, winning that. That was all. But yeah, I did see the one where they played Southampton. He made time to talk to Adam Lallana to get the lowdown, so what's he like? Obviously not like decision making scenario, but just doing due diligence, finding out what the guys like to work for or work with. He's a good coach. Mm-hmm. So obviously Guardiola rates Lallana, his opinion, and that's all. Yeah, in this picture, as you can see, Pep Lijnders. I'll make the picture full screen for one brief moment here. You can see this is Pep Lijnders obviously on the left, and that is James French on the right. James French doesn't look too happy in the picture, to be honest with you. Kind of looks like. They look like they're burying a dog. Oh, gosh, no. Pep Lijnders got a smile on his face. I hope not. Something's going on the ground. I know, but they're giving it a good send-off. They're like, she was a great dog. But the other guy's, yeah, but I'm still sad. There's something's happening on the ground in front of them. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Because the other fella doesn't have a ridiculously big square object in his tracksuit bottoms like Pep does. I don't know what that is. It looks like it's got a screen on it as well.
Oh, yeah. Pep Lijnders is notorious for carrying around
it looks like a box with a screen on it,
Probably just a big phone. It's just a big phone type of guy, probably.
Maybe. Like Trigger Happy TV.
Or a small. It's either a big phone or a small tablet.
I think it's a tablet. I think maybe it's his book. Like a small maybe it's his next book.
Yeah, he's right. Well, we said it earlier on, man. He's going to be there writing notes in the corner. Pep's going to come over. What are you doing? He's like, I'm working on tactics. And it's like secret diary, day one. My first day at Manchester City with Pep. Pep was very angry this morning with Mr. Cherki.
There you go. Yeah. He gets to work. I just saw Senna Polo. Big up to you. He was just talking about Cherki. And he gets to work with Cherki now and help him out and everything else. But I don't know, maybe this is maybe the conspiracy, this conspirian, I think that's what it is. Is that a word? I don't know. The conspiracy person to me, thinking maybe they could be like double spies for us or something.
Yeah, I can
Well,
spit.
to be your point, like it's just like what you said earlier on. This is what I get called out, and like I'm always going to be me on these kind of shows. And when you read out that statement that Pep Lijnders made earlier on, about this, I don't know, the Scouse in the house or whatever it is. I don't know that whole I love Liverpool, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
This is why every time I hear one of those statements, whether it's from a new player coming in or blah, I always say, look, that shit means nothing to me because at the end of the day, most of it's just bullshit. It's just blah 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 PR shit.
I'm expected to
And
say
that's just
it's
more of a definition of that to me. These guys, they'll come out and they'll say something like that. Oh, my two girls, they're practically scouts. Oh, like 6 months later, you're working for City. That's why when this stuff comes out, it doesn't matter who says it. Unless it's Kenny Dalglish or fucking Alan Hansen or these guys talking about how they used to. These guys are, I love the club. I feel like this. I could never be anywhere else. I just like, look, I don't care, mate. To me, that stuff does nothing for me because 6-8 months later, this is the kind of thing that happens. There is no real loyalty in football. And
But there's
rightly
so many
cynical.
jobs in football, like as in, especially the way that the football.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many jobs, and he picked that one.
Like he picked
And he
that,
picked that
like
one.
all jobs to pick.
Exactly.
You picked that job. Like
So just
it's
let it be
not
a
like-
lesson to people who think these people give a shit about your club. They don't. They give a shit about themselves and their next job, and that's it.
That's
it.
that part. Yeah, that part's ugly. That part to me is
Well,
ugly.
I mean, but look, Bernie was talking about earlier on. He's talking about older people, and I'm not. But I was saying, look, she's right. But this guy, he's not even from England, let alone Liverpool. He could be a
Right.
Man United fan for all we know.
Right.
It's like back in the day, a lot of the coaches, like they're either from the area or they come up through the club, or they played for the club, or a lot of them
Right.
would be kind of Liverpool fans kind of thing. These are, like you said, these are professional guys. He tried his hand at management. He's got bills to pay, family to feed. He's unemployed. He's got to get
Right.
work. But yeah, like I said, it's like, okay, with all that in mind, but you still know if you take that job, you look like a total dick, right? Are you prepared to look like a total dick?
Funny, but I don't
Okay,
see
cool.
why he. I don't. I didn't mean to step on your feet there. I don't see why he didn't try to go for the Leverkusen job. To be honest with you.
Maybe he did, and he got knocked back. We don't.
Maybe.
He's
I just think that he's got. I just think
that
that he's probably got more in the bag to offer than Ten Hag. Like Ten Hag got like an open checkbook. He got every player that he wanted to bring in. Went into the Premier League and failed pretty miserably. Albeit, some might reflect as saying, "Oh well, he did win some. He won the FA Cup. He won the League Cup. So maybe that's something that some will fall back on." But I don't know. I thought that he would be. He could find some type of other job. No, it's disappointing. Pep. The reason why I had that title, why I led off with this, is because it's just disappointing, and I think that part of football is a dying, if not dead, portion of football, and it's a shame. It would be like, I don't know, Gary Neville. It'd be like Gary Neville investing in Liverpool or something like that. Like he wouldn't do it simply because he just can't. He doesn't want to be connected to anything Liverpool. I saw Jamie and Gary. What do you want to say?
I was going to throw. I was just throwing in one card. But could we switch it as a badge of honor where even City are trying to steal our old cast-off coaches? That's how good we are.
It could be.
Could we switch it as a badge of honor? Like the guys that are no longer good enough to work for us, those are the guys City are trying to take because they can't bring in their own guys. Take it as a badge of honor almost.
True. Very true. Very true. You can see it like that. Let me see. I'm also going to see. I see some people coming in with the bomb.
Oh, that's. Let's see. Hang on. I'll tell you now.
Yeah, I'm looking on X or anything like that to see any. I don't see anything.
Yeah. Okay. So Fabrizio
in
Romano.
the lady of the house, lady.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a 3 minutes ago. Yeah, Fabrizio Romano exclusive. Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. Sorry, traffic. Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. Here we go. Liverpool verbally agreed deal in principle with Bayer Leverkusen for package reaching 150 million, add-ons included. Wirtz set for medical and contract signing. So, along with a picture of Florian Wirtz, and here we go. So that's 3 minutes ago on Fabrizio Romano. Here we go on Florian Wirtz. 150 million.
Well, let me bring in Bernie, Lady B. How are you?
Hi, 12th. Hi, guys. I'm fine, thank you. Apart from
Hello.
Lijnders, the traitor. I just think he's a disgrace, to be honest with you. You know, you don't.
There, if you want to, if you just want to put it up for a sec.
You don't work for our club for so long and make out you've got a great relationship. Do you want to talk about this? Would you rather talk about Wirtz?
No. Get your thought out, and then we'll bring up the Wirtz thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I said it before in Brian's. I just think that he knows our rivals. He knows the north of England. You know, are our biggest rivals. United and City. You know, and obviously we fight with City to win the league. So why would you go and try and help someone to beat us? And when he, as I said earlier, when he brought that book out, I thought he's not good enough to bring a book out and to try and flog it at the club. I thought it was disgusting, really, when he was doing that. You know, asking Klopp to endorse it on camera, but he's got an opinion of himself, Pep, which doesn't. I don't think he lives up to it really. And as I say, for him to go there and try to help them to beat us, I just think it's low. It's really low.
Agreed.
Okay, yeah. That's some big news in Alexander. Maddie's saying Scousers love calling people Reds. Essex Red says 150 million euro. Norm says, I will wait for club website to announce. Alexander says 150, that's some pressure on a kid. And Red Armchair says, great, can people stop wetting their pants now about when the deal will be done?
Mine are in the washing machine, like utterly ruined. Must have wet them 5 times at least.
50 million add-ons included. I bet you
they got their money from day one. They said 150, and they got us up and up and up and up, and we gave them their 150. We knew the price from day one, and they got it. Fair play to them. They got their money.
Fund them. That's why you know what? You got your money, Leverkusen. I'm not.
We got our player. That's all that matters.
We got our player.
That's
we got our player. We move. I don't look back anymore at Leverkusen now. I have no love for them for that. Because it's a different story. It's different. I understand what you're saying. I'll let Bernie say for comment too in a second. I just want to say real quick. It's one thing that if they wanted 150, I get that was the price that they were speaking on, bringing out constantly, as in that was where they wanted it. But yet they said that originally when the talks began that they would compromise and settle for 109 million pounds. And for it to have to go all the way up another additional 17 million, that's a lot, for it to go from 109 to 126 million pounds, that says that you got us, you tricked us into like getting involved, and now we have to make good on it, and I'm not really keen on that. If you say you're going to do something cool, 109 million, cool. If that's not good enough, then let's figure out something in the middle, and we can utilize as a compromise. But yeah, we'll see.
Well,
I think we'll see.
Sorry, Brian.
I don't mind. No, go ahead, Bernie. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
They were saying that a sort of like 40 million of euros of the money was obviously designed around achievements, goals, competitions, whatever. But they also said part of that was almost impossible to achieve. Whatever codicil that Liverpool have put in. But why would you do that? I can't understand that. Well, why would
I ain't finding any negatives in this. Sorry, not for 24 hours at least. There ain't no negative in this for me.
No, but what I mean, Brian, is that maybe that was to save face for Leverkusen. By them saying, okay, yeah, you've got what you wanted, the figure you wanted, but part
I can
of it.
put a number out. We can find
Yeah.
out tomorrow. It is 109 with 41 million in add-ons if he wins 6 Ballon d'Ors and this kind of stuff. Who knows? We'll find out. But
Yeah.
look, they got to say they got their number. We're clearly happy. We got our player. That's all that matters. We got that player. Everybody else wanted him. Fucking City would have broke the bank for him. Forget all that. Oh, it's a bit expensive. Is it for ye? Yeah, really? I don't think so. Bayern were shocked there.
Walked to Leverkusen to sign him, mate. If he had to, he was literally walked to Leverkusen to get his signature. But Wirtz just didn't want to go there, did he?
No, I don't care. If we overpaid by 15 million, who cares if we win 3 leagues with this guy? Are we overpaying then? Value is yet to be decided.
The times they are changing.
This guy is a magnet for other top players. This guy is a magnet in every way. This says to everybody, Liverpool aren't just winning stuff. They're winning things and then they're buying people like this. It's one of the biggest statements we've made in the last 25, 30 years. Huge statement.
Yeah.
Going and breaking the record.
It's not just, hey, wait, and also I'll admit this. It's not just breaking the record. It's absolutely smashing.
Have that. See you later.
Yeah. It's one thing to break the record. Oh, you're 2-3 million over whatever Chelsea spent last year or whatever.
We're going to need a new book.
Or whatever, they spent on Declan Rice or something like that. Yeah, that's one thing. But it's another thing to go surpass it by over 10 million. That's a lot.
Because he's the talent he is, it costs what it's costed, what it's cost us, and that's the long and short of it. We had to pay what they wanted, or we wouldn't have got him. So we
used to be jealous of other clubs doing this, lads. Come on, we used to be jealous of other clubs going out and being the big boy and saying the big boy players. So let's revel in it. Other clubs are jealous of us right now. They can put up all their little tweets saying, comparing his stats with some other random guy, and just doing their thing. Cool, bring it on. Because they're all just every single club on the planet. Like the guy that was on Fozzie's show yesterday, great guy, negative G. He wasn't. He was just trying to be kind of diplomatic, and he was kind of saying that Wirtz wouldn't really fit into an Arsenal team. And I just had to stop. I was like, dude, if Wirtz can't fit into an Arsenal team, that's an Arsenal problem, not a Wirtz problem. Yeah. If a guy like him can't come into your team and be one of the top players in
not only that,
you need a new coach.
Yeah.
You need a new coach. If he doesn't work in an Arteta team, I was like, yeah, well, get fucking rid of Arteta then. If the likes of Wirtz can't work in your team, that's your problem. Arteta, not Wirtz.
I would have gone even further to say, if you don't recognize Wirtz's talent and make your system fit Wirtz, then that's the bigger problem.
Yeah. The team of Mesut
you're so stubborn and rigid that you don't see it as like, oh, here's a natural talent. Let me figure out how to get the most out of this talent. Oh, I'm just going to be stubborn and rigid with my approach and try to, again, was it round peg in a square hole or square hole? Was it square peg in a round hole, right?
Whatever doesn't fit.
Yeah.
No one ever does star and triangle. Everyone always does square and round. Never does star and triangle. But that was the same. Yeah. K-Mac. I don't know what you're talking about. I'd be interested to know what K-Mac, because K-Mac was saying we weren't going to break the record for him. That was
Okay. Let me see if I'll see about getting him.
Oof,
You can have your
8-0.
conversation with them. Let me see if I'll get it. I'll get him a link. I'm gonna bring in. See if I bring in if Baz is around. I'll see if Baz is here too. I'm sure he would like to speak on it.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in now tonight wanting to talk about Mr. Wirtz.
Yes.
Wirtz.
Yes. You'll have maybe an Alante jumping on here with his
He's gonna have to get a new
German accent.
Yeah.
We're trying to make him feel at home, not alienate him. But all right, we'll see. Oh man, I think this is a picture of Jurgen Klopp saying to Pep Lijnders, so why couldn't we have gotten Wirtz? Just something maybe not. I don't know. I'm sure some are thinking that right now.
No, yeah.
Apparently, he doesn't like people called Florry, so we'll have to call him Flo.
Why would he like people calling him Florry?
Yeah, why would you?
Why would he like that?
No, Flo's all right though. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. You got to go like K-Mac's hair. You got to go with the flow.
Isn't that his his Instagram handle? Flows.
Is it? Yeah, I didn't know that, but it seemed a natural shortening of his name to me rather than Florry. Flo.
Brian, I love being wrong.
I am all the time. I'm wrong all the time.
The weird thing is, I literally said, it was yesterday, day before as well, like that. There's no way we're gonna budge on it. All the media said it as well today. Liverpool aren't budging, and you know what? Maybe it was the fact that Manchester City rolled out Cherki like he was some kind of world transfer record signing, and we just went, you know what? F you. We're gonna announce Wirtz.
Life is all about time.
I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to the announcement, like the actual setup. Like Mo Salah had like a throne in the middle of the pitch. I wonder what Wirtz is going to get. I bet you they're planning that on.
We could take that.
Maybe flies in on like on wires, something like that. Like I don't know.
But your point came back. Just in case anyone doesn't know what I was talking about, is you were making the point very firmly. You were saying that even if it's 1 million under, we are not going to break the British transfer record for this guy because we don't want to put the pressure of being a British transfer record signing on this player. That was what you were pointing. Even if it meant 114, I was like, well, okay, but that's just
anything
in case.
Over 115. I was reading the tea leaves that we were not going anywhere near that, and all the media were saying the same thing today and yesterday. Like, not yesterday, but today. Like, but we did it.
Let me say this. This is what I know, Brian.
FSG.
You might want to look away from this particular channel, but I'll show you this real quick. This is what
I'm not going to stop smiling. So
Anfield, Mr. Anfield agenda was 140 million euros. Told ya. Make sure, like we said, 140 million. He not only said it, he doubled down on it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't listen to him. Him. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Redmen TV. I don't listen to them. Sorry. No.
This ITK guy. Oh my gosh. I will show you what we are getting too, though.
Just look up Craig and
his numbers.
Okay, just look up Craig and Bellingham.
There you go.
18 months.
I thought you might enjoy seeing that actually.
I'll never know. I've seen that thing in real life, man. I don't need.
You know what though? You know what? 31 games, 10 goals, and 14 assists. He was 18.
Yeah.
He was 18.
Yeah.
Have we got an 18-year-old that could do that now?
Yeah.
The last
18 going on 19.
He's younger than Elliott. He's younger than Kwanzaa. He's younger than Jones.
Who was the last 18-year-old in the Premier League that did that at that like goals and assists at that age? Like seriously, Premier League, can you name any? Like
Michael Owen, maybe.
goals, no assists. I'm talking assists as
Yeah,
well.
Owen got a lot of assists as well.
Well, I mean, what's wild about it is that last year is when they had, last year when they had the great season.
The other guy, Rooney.
Yeah,
Rooney
18
as well.
goals and 20 assists.
I was going to say Rooney.
Yeah,
I was going to say
20.
there are similarities with Rooney, like with his trajectory. Now I'm starting to kind of see that similarities with Rooney. He's not as chunky, but
the fact he's come
when
back
Rooney
from that
was young,
injury to be even better is huge. You know, the fact he's come back that, you know, even better, gone
ACL,
invincible.
mate.
Yeah,
ACL.
I mean the whole lot. He's the determination, everything about him. He's special. He's special on every single level, not just football and ability. It's just determination. The way he moved from Cologne to Leverkusen, which is a hugely controversial move. Come back from that injury, become even better. I don't think he's going to care about this transfer record thing. He's probably going to take it on his shoulders. Hopefully, we'll give him a soft landing. But on every metric, you look on FBref and all that shit, I reckon on all the human metrics and all the physical, this guy tops out on everything. He's just a complete package. Absolutely.
Do you want to know what impresses me the most about him as
I'm
well?
wondering
Go on.
If we got the. Go ahead.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Yeah, you got a lag and you're breaking up.
Okay, it's not just me. Okay, what impresses me
No,
about him?
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I kind of alluded to the Rooney comparison. He gives you goals, he gives you assists, but he gives you off the ball work, which is unreal. Like he presses more than anyone else, he runs more than anyone else. His progressive carries are higher than anyone else. Like he is just an absolute all-rounder. Like, and he works his ass off all the time. Like, you know, you can't. Sometimes you just can't buy that. But you can buy talent. Like players have talent and they can score goals and they can get assists. That's like there's so many that do that but don't do anything else. But this guy does the hard yards. Like he does the dog work. He does the hard work, which is what we love about Szoboszlai. It's what we love about McAllister. It's what we love about a lot of our players. Is they might not sometimes do enough in the other areas, but they always work hard. He does all of that, but he also has end product as well. Like,
yeah.
But
I mean, that's what makes him stand out to me.
Manchester City, you can roll out Cherki, and everyone can talk about him being the best in the world and that bollocks. But then we got this guy. Shove it.
No one knew who Ryan Cherki was 18 months ago.
Absolutely love it. Buzzing.
Yeah. How are you feeling about let's get Lee and Lady B?
You're back.
Let's get Lee and Lady B into the combo. Lee, how are you feeling about this news that this is that Fabrizio is dropping?
Yeah, ecstatic about Wirtz being confirmed pretty much. It's brilliant. It's what we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Looks like
he's flying in. He's flying in. Sorry, if you don't know, he's flying in tonight for medical in the next couple of hours.
Yeah, well, I prefer Arsenal's if they get Tchouameni. I think Wirtz will have a greater impact for us. I could be wrong. Tchouameni could be fantastic for Arsenal and kick them on, but I think we've got the better player, haven't we? Different player, very different midfielder, but I'm pleased with what we've got. If the reports are true, Guardiola was initially keen on Kirkhouse, wasn't he? Until he found out we wanted him, and he went for Aït-Nouri. He went for the second choice, the Booby Prize.
Well, I would even ask the question of what is going on with Kirkhouse. I know I saw Lady B put in something in the chat. Maybe she has a little insight as to what's going on with Kirkhouse, because that could be something that is a bomba as well for announcement, but maybe we're not trying to take away from this announcement. Maybe we make that announcement tomorrow on Kirkhouse being signed as well. Because I know Kirkers did that.
Yeah, I just read 12th. It was online. You know, it was one of the newspapers, or it was either the BBC or the Mail. But they just said Liverpool have now finally, you know, have officially spoken to Bournemouth about Kirkers. You know, sort of put an offer in for him. So
Okay, so
Yeah, but they bought a left back. They signed a left back today.
They did.
You know,
They absolutely
so, you know,
Yeah.
They're making preparations.
that's what they were saying. Truthful, isn't it? That's what they said. You know, they've put someone in place expecting Kirkers to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they pay 15. They pay 15 million for that guy. I think we're probably just going to end up paying the 45 million. Like, you know, the way you've just had to pay the 126 million. I think we're probably just going to have to pay it. Like,
so he's worth it. 45. I mean, it's not obscene, is it? 45.
I don't know. It's like the third most expensive fullback in history.
Ooh, let's be that club. Let's be that club for a while. Let's be that club for 2 years. People want this man for years and years. Let's go out
in the
and
modern
be the
game. In 2025, 45 is not outrageous, is it?
No.
Like,
what do you get for 45 million these days? What do you get for that?
They bought a replacement for 15.
Yeah, but
it's quite a
know
lot.
how it works. You know how to
Quite a lot.
Do you want us to go and get Truffaut though?
I mean, how much was Luke Shaw? How much did Luke Shaw cost back all them years ago? He was like massive fee, wasn't he, Luke Shaw? Wasn't he?
Yeah,
like,
he cost about 40 million quid when 40 million quid was.
Yeah, that was like 7 years ago or something, wasn't it?
I think the good thing is that it shows the intent from the club, doesn't it? Because even the pundits were saying yesterday that they thought that they all rated Kelleher a lot more than we sold him for, and they said they think it's a sweetener, you know, for the deal with Leverkusen for Wirtz. I can't say it like Vets, but they were saying, you know, but even so, if that was the case, we've, you know, that it's not like Edwards or you know, to not be able to do a really good deal. So I think the fact that they've done that deal knowing that we probably undersold Kelleher a bit, and then had to pay top whack at the other end, although we don't know the structure of the bonuses or the add-ons. But even so, it does show intent from the club, doesn't it? You know, that they were going for their man and it didn't matter what they were getting him for us. So I'm really pleased about that.
Yeah. This is great. This is the new us, isn't it? This is the new Liverpool. We get our man Liverpool and we get even more. If we get
if you have to pay an extra 5 or 6, we can do it. We ain't losing out to Man City. We'll be that club for a little while.
Yeah.
This is in order. Spend on that.
How about that?
Those luxury bits and pieces. Exactly.
I don't think we've paid over the odds in either case, if that's what it takes. 45, and is it 130 in sterling, 150 euros? Is it all about
126 is 150, but that's going to change by the hour, you know. But it's basically the 126 that they said he was going to cost, and we tried to get there. We inched towards it, and they were like, "It's 126." Or like, "How about this? How about that?" And they're like, "It's 126." And we eventually got there.
Was Enzo 110 or something stupid, or was he just 100?
Did you say Endo?
Enzo Fernandez.
William and Caicedo were both $1 million plus, weren't they?
I think he was 105 or 106. Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, it was. Enzo was cheaper than Caicedo. Caicedo was 115. Enzo was like 5 or 6 million quid cheaper than Caicedo.
Do you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy?
He's 10 million on it as he works by coming in at 126.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think's crazy? I actually think we might break it again.
Yeah.
I actually think we might go and buy someone for even more than him.
Well, the only player out there that we do that on is Ziza.
There's so many rumours going around that we haven't signed our most expensive player this season yet.
Yeah. Well, if we can find buyers for all our pieces of dead wood, then we could be in business for a big sign strike, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility, given we could raise about 90 million from sales.
They're not dead wood. They're hot commodities.
I hope they're hot commodities. Well, Nunes isn't going to Saudi, is he?
No one said, if you want to sell your car, you don't say, I'm trying to sell my lemon.
Some dead wood. Got some dead wood at the back.
No one says buy my
I've
lemon.
got a beast in the driveway. I've got
Who's
a
going to
terror in the
be good
driveway.
King Wenceslas and come and collect all the dead wood?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
goodness
we want
gracious.
top dollar for these for our deadwood. We want as much as we
Exactly.
can possibly get.
Exactly.
They're not Deadwood, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, Brendan
Wait, do you guys-
Rodgers' team was Deadwood, but not this
that's-
one.
Do you guys call them lemons too, by the way? When the cars that are like, you call them lemons or no?
Oh, yeah.
Over in Europe?
That's the game, innit? Do you remember the game, Lemmings?
Oh, well, I meant like lemon, like a lemon, like the
No,
like,
a lemon, yeah. lemon.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
call
Black
them
card's a
Rex.
lemon.
I think like Lemmings.
Well,
that, like,
no,
walk
a
off the
lemon.
cliff.
A lemon is a
I think
bad
Lemmings.
car that's been sold as a good car. It's not like you know a bad car when you're buying one. A lemon
right.
is
Lemon's
is
like
one that's been-
it's a bad car.
it's been
a
kind of
bad
made
car.
up
This
to
car's
be
got
like a good
problems
car.
that you're trying to sell like it has no problems.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's like you're dressed up. Like that's a lemon. It's kind of you've been conned into buying a lemon.
Right,
Whereas
right.
a bad car is a bad car. You know, it's a shit car when you're buying it. But
Yeah.
it's sort of a
You
con
roll up
job.
with
bang,
an
yeah.
engine.
A banger.
Sometimes we
That's
say
banger. You know what you're getting into with a banger. A lemon is like, oh, I thought it was a good car. Turns out it has no gearbox. That's a lemon.
That's a
sometimes we say around here you've been sold a pup as opposed to a thoroughbred dog or something.
okay. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'd rather a pup than a.
Well,
Anyway,
he's asking. Real quick, Mac, since you're joining the
Arwen's a
panel,
pup.
real quick, did you want to
Yeah.
comment on Pep Lijnders and
oh God, how long have you
Mr.
got?
French? Yeah, no.
Did you buy his book?
You got?
Did you buy his book?
Did you buy his book?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Well,
actually
well,
fraud.
he's got another book.
Yeah.
He's got another book coming out apparently too.
I mean, I just love the fact that
My
he
summer
wears
with
his
Pep.
heart on his
With Pep.
sleeve. Like he'll never be a coach for anyone else. It's only Jurgen. Like it's always been Liverpool. It means more. And then goes
It's all shy.
run into Pep when Pep spits at him.
Well, you would think he'd just go into the background quietly, but apparently upon arrival, he insisted the old called Guardiola Joe in future. He said, I'm the only Pep around here, mate. Call him Joe from now on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah. No, he said, you know what? There is a pathway to you getting a coaching job. Start picking up those cones like Arteta did, and who knows what can happen to you.
You know what's wild about Manchester City is they're doing all the things which are what we have done over the last couple of years. Like they're trying to be Liverpool. Like they're going in a new direction with their coaching staff. They're trying to take our data people.
Yeah, they're robbing our
Honestly,
people. We need to wear it as a
trying
badge of
to be
honor.
Liverpool.
God,
Right.
it looks
That's what I
desperate.
came up. We need to wear it
Desperate
as a
today.
badge of honor. The other clubs are looking at us going, the only way we can improve is by taking their people. And we're sitting there going, yeah, we already got rid of them. We've moved on to the next people. I take it as a badge of honor, as a compliment almost, you know?
Yeah, I do.
You know, that's the only way they think they can improve is by taking our people because they're not good enough to create their own people. Cool. We used to do that, and guess what? They'd already moved on to the next guy.
Right.
They
Well,
were
they kinda
farming.
bought-
They were
they kinda
buying foreign Wirtz and Kirkes, and we were getting
They
night
kind of
and
bought history, didn't they? With the 115, they kind of bought history with the 115, and that.
I wonder
and
what
that's
they're saying to these new people came out like Reinders and
blows my
Cherki
mind,
because they're
though,
sitting
like-
down. They're sitting down with them, and they have to be asking the question. They wouldn't be in the right mind to not ask the question. Pep, are you going to be here in a year? And what's going on with this whole shenanigans thing? Because they're bringing
Well, that's
all
what
these
that was.
people
That
in.
was a conversation with Wirtz, real quick. That was a conversation with apparently Wirtz had with them.
Yeah, of course. You'd be.
Has to be.
And
It's the elephant in
maybe
the
if it
room.
wasn't him, his dad might have been asking those. You'd be
Well,
crazy.
his dad.
not-
You're right. His dad brought it
Yeah,
up.
you'd
Not
be
him.
crazy not to. Is this club going to exist in 2 years' time? You
Right.
know, I want answers. If you want my son to join your club, I have my right, and I'm in a position to ask questions. What is going on with this shit? And they're probably there telling players, you don't need to worry. And these guys, Marmouche signing on 290, Haaland a new 10-year contract. They're obviously pretty confident because the club is obviously telling them something. You know, So what are they telling these new people? Don't worry about these charges.
I don't
That's
know. Like,
very
well,
worrying to
I
me.
mean, at the end of the day, mate, they lied about them, didn't they? So
Yeah.
they covered up the 115 for God knows how many years. It was only because someone hacked their computers that it got leaked. I mean, you know
The
about that, don't you?
The
You do
Mancini
know
thing
about
kind of
that, don't
kicked
you?
it off.
That's
The
how the
Mancini
115.
thing, yeah, the
That's how the
Mancini thing where they
115
kicked
covered.
off. But
There was a
the
German
Mancini thing where
hacker.
they kicked off, they were paying him extra money. That's when people started genuinely started looking into them. Because that was real. They made no attempt to cover that up. They just thought, oh, we'll give you an extra job as a consultant and nobody will care.
It goes.
And people started looking into them after that.
It goes all the way to the royal family. That's how far back it goes. So there's no way they can be found guilty, because that would be the Premier League pressing charges against an actual country. Like, it just won't happen. But I just think it's really weird that, like, they're still spending like so much money still. Like, they're still just spending money away, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and you're like, what? Like you could be relegated like next season. Like, they still haven't said what's happening, and they keep on going, oh well, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next time. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like deep state to me. Like, that stuff. Stuff. Oh yeah, they're going to get found guilty, and then they don't, and then they don't, and then they don't, and then the actual industry that's supposed to be finding them guilty probably gets bribed or something. I don't know. It's just crazy. But I hope Pep Lijnders goes in and just causes an absolute shit show like he did with
Never chance
Liverpool.
of getting the job if they did get found guilty and relegated. If they got put down 2 divisions, they might give him a go at getting them out of League One.
Well, Lijnders,
yeah,
it'd probably be Colo Torre, mate. Lijnders will be his assistant.
Yeah.
I'll bring that up too before you.
It's meant to be October, isn't it? The
Well,
decision.
before we do move on.
It's supposed to have already happened. Sorry.
Before we move on to the next topic, before we move on to the next topic, I will bring in JK, but I also want to speak on that because yesterday there was something I did want to talk about, but I said at the end of the show I didn't want to bring it up because I knew I know I'm lagging a little bit, but I didn't want to bring it up because I knew it was going to possibly spark a even longer, bigger conversation. And here we are trying to wrap up the show. But I'll
jump off, mate, and you can carry on. Okay. I'll jump off, man. All right, but big up everyone. All right.
No worries. Thank you.
All right. Here we go. All right. See you later, man.
Here we go.
I'll let you get others on, mate. All right. Catch you later, buddy. Great show.
Yeah. Let me bring. Hold on one second. Let me do this. So what I was going to get into was that there was the verbal agreement in place for the Dutch midfielder. It's been confirmed that they're going to bring in Pep Lijnders. That was for 70 million euros. In the last 6 months, this isn't just in the last 6 months, my people. In the last 6 months, they've signed Marmoush for 75 million. They've signed Gonzalez for 60 million. They've signed Kusanov for 40 million. They signed Reese for 40 million. I just mentioned the Reinders deal for 70 million. It has signed Cherki technically for 40 million euros. It's 26 million pounds, but still 40 million euros. And then it signed Nori for 50 million euros. That's close to 300 and some odd million. I'm not doing the math off the top of my head. I think it's like 340 million or something like that. It's close to 3.5 million, 340 million euros.
Yeah.
What I would like to know is what is up with the 130 charges? Because I know the 115 is the number everyone focuses on. That's the number everyone was moving with. But they've got 100, they actually have 130 charges against them. There's 15 additional charges that were, yes, Lee, 15 additional charges that were added on top of that, of the charges that they faced. I don't think people recognize the fact that Manchester City, for all of the things that they're doing by, winning the leagues and competing in these European competitions and doing such and putting money into Manchester City, what they're actually doing to the league is a bigger question of what kind of impact it's going to have and what kind of lasting impact it's going to have.
Yeah, what the board has done to it and what they're still doing to it.
Yeah,
their continued presence in the division.
Tommy, I know it's all allegations and it's allegedly they've done this or done that, but allegedly they've made secret payments to players or secret payments to coaches before. They've made, like, as in now all of a sudden you think now they're playing by the rules, or have they found just another way to loophole it into being able to navigate those rules? That has to be a question, despite the fact that I get that it is allegedly, these allegations are alleged and they're not, they need to still be adjudicated, or they have been adjudicated and we're just waiting still for this result.
The way I heard it, like, they didn't even cover their tracks that well because they were that confident, like, nothing has happened. So really, it sounds like an open goal for the football authorities to charge them. It's going to cause a right stink. It's going to really be a nail in football. Nail in the coffin, like, you know what I mean, for football.
But it's just quickly on it, Lee. It's not like it's a trial as such. It's not like, basically what has happened is they've gone through this process, and the people that were there, people, because they're ex-judges and stuff, people think it's like a trial. No, it's just because they're the kind of people you'd hire to do this kind of shit, right? They've made findings on what they've looked at, and then they've basically handed those findings to the people who will then look at those and then decide what the punishment is. So it's kind of like the investigation has been done and they've done, right, here's all the blah, blah, blah. And then so it's not like there's a kind of a trial and it's like they've been found guilty or not guilty yet. The process in it is really convoluted. So it's basically like they've gone, okay, you've asked us to look into this. We've looked into it. Here's all the findings on all of the charges. And then they've handed those findings over to the people who can then decide whether or not to punish Man City based on what they've been given, the information. So it's because we were told it was 6 months ago, it was going to be this. It's kind of 9 months at least in a year over what it was supposed to be. But
this is what the potential.
Yeah, that's how it's working.
Football, like now and in the future, if they get away with this shit.
I listened to a sports lawyer talking about it, and he said even though they've had the hearing and everything, it could be 12 months to 18 months before they even announce the findings on it. It's by the time they take it through the courts and everything, they can put a blanket. Yeah, they can put a blanket on it.
Well, we've had a trial run, pardon the pun, haven't we? Like, and they got punished, and then the punishment was taken away as quickly as it was given, almost. So we've had a trial run, haven't we? And it didn't go well for football, did it? It went well for Man City, but not for football.
I think they're so arrogant. They'll just carry on regardless, and do whatever they think.
They'll probably go and buy a right back when the window opens again. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that's exactly what Norm brings up. That's what I'm thinking myself. He says, do we not think it is suspicious the fee they got for Alvarez and how Aït-Nouri was going for 50 million and they supposedly paid 35, same with the others? Yeah. Aït-Nouri is 50 million, yet here we are being raked over the coals for 150 million euros, obviously, but yet they're getting Aït-Nouri for 15 million pound. If there's any team that's got the money, it's certainly City, apparently. They're one of the top 5
I'll get that question.
when it comes to the books. Apparently, they're top 5 highest grossing teams in the world.
It's like it
I
is.
don't understand. Yeah, Alvarez for 90. I'm not really sure what he means by Alvarez fee. I mean,
I
that's
think he's
what
saying that
work
like
for.
the Alvarez fee. I think they're saying that what they paid for him.
Too low.
I think that's what he's speaking of.
Yeah, you're saying like the fees for these players are too low, so it's like it looks like it's false accounting.
Allegedly.
You're on Crime Watch.
Yeah. I don't want to
It is
my
a
brother.
crime scene, though, and it makes it as a crime scene. Like, crimes been committed against football, mate. Against football. It's a big shit stain and an unignorable shit stain on the image of football, isn't it? And, if they don't do anything to them, they won't be able to, like, wash it off, this shit stain. It'll stay there, mate. And football's
That's a really graphic. That's a really graphic image there, but okay.
Yeah,
well, you get the picture. Somebody's got the runs. Mess themselves in the sleep.
Hard not with
White bed.
You didn't need to elaborate. You
Yeah.
definitely didn't need to elaborate.
Elaborate on your holiday and
Yeah,
stuff like
well,
that.
we absolutely got the picture. Yeah, there was no need for
No
elaboration.
need for that, bro.
Yeah,
But
too
for me,
much
bro,
Too much information.
when you look at Man City as a team, look at
Right.
their transfers nowadays as well. These ain't like Man City signings, these guys they're pulling in on that 300 odd million that's been spent.
Mhm.
It's really sort of players maybe, I don't know, a West Ham would go for, or I don't know, a Spurs or someone like that. You know what I mean? It ain't like Man City sort of level. And that's a good thing to see in a weird way. Imagine they're pulling in Rodri's and De Bruyne's in, They're going for... I'm not a big fan of Alt-Nouri. I think he's okay. But I just feel he's not really a Pep Guardiola type of player. It's just weird.
Yeah, he wanted Cherki, I believe, like, before he knew we wanted them. And he said, all right, I'll get Alt-Nouri. I mean, that's what you can hope for in the future is if they don't get punished, is that this continues, this burgeoning trend of players pipping us over them. And it won't matter what happens then because we'll have the better players. So, no.
Bless up, Norman.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why I know that I forget what was the name of the publication in Germany that leaked all of this information.
Der Spiegel. Der Spiegel it was.
The Mirror. That's what it's called, The Mirror. Spiegel is Mirror. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you, JK? Did you hear?
Wow!
About,
by the way, go ahead, Bernie. Say. Bring this up.
Sorry, just quickly. I was just going to say, JK. Did you hear? Pep Lijnders has released a song this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blue moon upon my chest. Oh, sorry.
Okay. You might have to drop a pause on that. I don't know about on this.
That would be Push It, Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, push. Yeah, he wants to be pushed.
You know what I mean? But for me,
and then I'm gonna bring up something else too. Go ahead.
Pep Lijnders. For me, when I seen his face back in the days, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I go with faces if I like someone or not. I seen his face, I thought, oh my god, who is this fucking guy? And I knew as soon as he made that book, I thought, okay, this guy is thinking about his own future right now, and that gave me an inkling of the type of guy he is. What he's done there is shameful.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like that exactly the same.
Okay, it's just like, what is this guy thinking, man? Like, you want to get to the top, but there's a way to get to the top, bro, and it ain't like that.
Yeah.
I want to also bring this up real quick too. Did someone have something else? I heard someone just. Okay. Because this is a massive thing, especially for those of African descent. Senegal is the first African team to beat England. Big up. They beat today. today they played in. Make sure, did they play in England, right? Or did they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Forest
played
Town.
they played in Nottingham, right?
Uh-huh.
So they played in England. So Senegal traveled to England and proceeded to beat them 3-1
Wow.
today.
Well, I'm utterly amazed that it's took that long. I thought we'd been beaten by an African team long ago. I've followed England for quite a while. I can't believe
Yeah. I understand. No, it's usually America that's beating you. But now, yeah, welcome, Africa. Welcome, Senegal.
How long do you reckon two will last? You know what I mean? How long do you reckon?
That was a cheeky one.
Ryan's acting as an African just for the day, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Sorry, what's that?
Scores 3-1, 3-1 Senegal.
I said you're African just for the day because 12th side, anybody who's African, Senegal are the first African team to score against England, and I said you're African just for today.
Well,
Yeah.
Irish all day, every day.
There you go. Honorary African then. How about that? For today. As yes, Senegal had a really good game. Knotted it up 1-1 before halftime and then proceeded to score 2 goals in the second half. So they end up getting the victory. And there was also, Romania over Cyprus, Austria over San Marino, Albany tied Latvia, Serbia 3-0.
Albania, yeah.
Albania, what did I say?
Albany.
I said
Not
Albany.
New York now, baby.
Yeah, not in New York. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, you guys call it London.
London.
It's like they have two separate words for it, like London. I've heard Americans say London. I'm like, what?
No, I don't go that far. My accent
We
can
should have been
sometimes
my
pop out.
on here. Nalante completely abandoned his attempts to pronounce Azerbaijan. He tried it once.
Azerbaijan.
It didn't go well. Yeah, he tried to pronounce it once. It didn't go well, and he just gave up after that. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Call it an AJ or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the first attempt was. As per Gujanani or something, I think he called them. I think he called them something like as per Gujanani or something. It was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. Even he was laughing at himself. He was laughing at himself. He's like, I'm not going to say that again.
I did see too. Finland beat Poland 2-1.
One yard Littman.
What's that?
That's it. Go on, Yari Littman. Our Finnish maestro.
Let's see. Let's see if anyone knows. No one I know. And then 8-0. But that was also Holland playing at home against Malta. A lot of goals, obviously, in this one. Memphis scored. I think Memphis might have had a hat trick, maybe. No, he had 2 goals.
3 Liverpool starters in that game. 3 Liverpool starters.
Yeah.
And 1 on the bench. Gakpo, Grav, and VVD started, and Frimpong was on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gakpo didn't score, man. Crazy.
No, he did not.
Yeah. Honestly, he's on the back.
Simons did.
We're going to be changing our kit to orange.
Oh, I know.
I've
already heard about that. Yeah. Van der Ven scored. Van Dijk, obviously, our captain, had a goal in that one too. So it was definitely a fun little until.
I think he opened the scoring. I think
no, he had
the
third goal. He had the third goal.
Third goal. Okay.
Depay had the first 2 goals. He had a penalty.
He got a penalty. Didn't
he got a penalty in the beginning, and then he had the second goal was an assist from Dumfries. Possibly our future number 6, Frankie de Jong. No, I'm just joking. He gave Virgil van Dijk the assist on his goal.
Yeah, he was a top player, man. I don't think he's fulfilled his career, his potential, in my opinion.
Who's this? Frank De Jong?
Okay.
Yeah.
If he could stay, his injuries have hampered him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he is
Coming back though. He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's playing now. Yeah.
Memphis has now equaled Robin Van Persie. Wow.
Wow.
Those strikers don't have huge numbers. 30-ish kind of gets you in there.
Have you guys talked about the latest Wirtz news and stuff?
Oh, done deal, baby.
Not yet. It's further down on the list here, but it will be announced. I was going to say next up really is the Luis Diaz situation. Barcelona are pushing hard to bring in Luis Diaz. Diaz is probably their number one left wing target with full backing from Hansi Flick. Liverpool quickly shut down initial advances. Reports from Spain claim Diaz has already agreed to personal terms. I don't believe in that though, because you know how you gotta definitely have a little bit of a little bit of a grain of salt when it comes to reports coming out of Spain. But even more interesting, Diaz reportedly told Barcelona he can leave for a fee that is far from the 80 million euro mark. Whether that's far away or below is anyone's guess, but Liverpool sources insist there are no discounts. And I don't know why they put that in there. That's one of the dumbest things. Yeah, some of the dumbest things I've heard.
Discount.
But despite
bring back a few bottles. Bring back a few plastic bottles. You get one of them little discount type things.
They've been collecting tokens.
Like the stamp card. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Despite public statements like "I'm happy at Liverpool," Diaz recently admitted he is talking to other clubs. That doesn't exactly sound like someone closing the door on a move, but it doesn't necessarily say that he is begging for one either. Liverpool's silence on a contract extension with Diaz, who only has 2 years left, is also notable. If he enters the final 12 to 18 months with no renewal, his market value and leverage drop. Could we really lose him on a free in 2027? I don't think so, but there is always a chance that we do end up just riding out the contract. So I'll ask this to the panel. Should Liverpool cash in on Diaz this summer while his value is high? Or is this all just media games from Barcelona's side? Because I don't think Barcelona have the money to actually afford him. I'll ask that. I'll start since JK just came to the party. I'll start with JK. I'll go to Bernie, Brian, and then to Lee.
Okay. Like me and you had a good chat about Diaz today, and like very valuable player for me last season. But yeah, there's always one reason why I don't mind if a player moves on. If he thinks his energy he's putting into his job isn't valued in the wage structure, and the wage he's getting. For me, Diaz should have been on a better contract a while ago. I think this is probably one of his best seasons he's had with us. But this guy don't stop running, bro. You know what I mean? He never stops running, man. He gives 100%, and he probably takes about 30,000 after tax home. Realistically, bro, look at all the other players getting big money, and he's thinking, you know what? If I don't move now, I'm never going to get that sort of wage where I'll be on par with other guys. You know what I mean? I think he's wasted a lot of years on a low wage, man. When you really think about it, you know what I mean? Okay, he got more than he got at Portugal, double or triple amount you were saying, but still, it's still low when you consider other players like Chiesa getting 160 and stuff. I don't really want to lose Diaz. I think he's a valuable squad member. Slot likes him as well. Sort of started him loads of games and that. But if someone came in and he's ready to go, I don't blame him because of his wage.
Okay. Lady B.
Yeah, more or less the same with what JK's just said. I think as well, if we start, if we looked towards maybe South America or somewhere where these young kids come in who do run that fast, and have got some skill, we could probably get somebody for half the price of Diaz if we cashed in on him. If you're looking at it purely from business, I think we have disrespected him on his wages, and I would have liked for us to have given him more while he was with us. But if his contract's running down, and if we've got some other bright spark in mind, then yeah, I'd let him go and let him get a payday, in the sun somewhere, where he's going to earn what he's got before he retires. Well, not he retires, but before his own value goes down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about for you, Brian?
I have too much time on my hands to be thinking about this stuff, but I think we're playing a game here, and the game to me is we're not going to give you a new contract. And yes, believe it or not, we'll let you walk. Don't think we won't let you walk. We will.
Yeah.
Right now, we're not going to give you that big bump.
Right.
We're not going to give it to you.
Right.
You're worth 70 million quid to us right now from Saudi. If you want 280, 290, we're not going to give it to you. You're a favorite club.
Is that the number? Is that the number that you hear he's asking for?
No, I'm just saying. I'm throwing numbers out there. Whatever your big, huge number you want to earn before you retire.
I haven't heard of a number.
No, exactly. No, I haven't either. But it's obviously going to be a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But your super club, your favorite club, Barcelona, they haven't come to us with an offer.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about them all you want, but they've come to us with a bag of peanuts and £5. There's no, if they come to us with £72 million, you can go and talk to them. But we were playing a game with this guy because we're not going to give him that big deal. It's timing. It's horrible. Right. I know what JK is saying. This guy deserves more money. Of course he does. But he deserved it 2 months ago or 2 years ago.
Mm.
This club right now is playing a psychological game with this player.
But he couldn't do it 2 years
right
ago.
Or wrong.
He couldn't
They're
do
saying
it
to him,
yeah.
If you want that big money, you're going to have to go.
Mm-hmm. He couldn't do it 2 years ago, though, Brian. I'm not saying I'm not disputing.
No, I'm just saying he could have gotten his increase 2 years. He could have gotten his bump 2 years ago, not 250, but he could. Yeah, he came in on low wages.
I don't think he would have and could have, only because 2 years ago was when he was dealing with that knee injury.
Well, no, but I was sorry. Yeah, I was just kind of meaning just in terms of his lifespan at Liverpool. It's sort of like it's not going to happen now. If it was going to happen, it would happen a couple of years ago. Yeah, obviously, at the time. But
that's the only reason why I'm saying.
I keep saying, life is all about timing. Life is all about
timing.
And he's just dropped right in the wrong moment. We're not going to give him a 4 year. Like, you're going to bump his wages for 2 years. No, it's going to be a 4-year deal. That takes him up. No, that makes him too old. Right now he's at his peak value to us, and he's also at his peak value in wage to a Saudi club or something like that. So I think we're just sitting there looking at him. We're playing chicken with him.
Yeah.
And as cruel as it sounds, this is just the business. We're not going to give him what he wants. We're looking at him going, we know what you're worth. You know what you're worth. Go make it happen, because it's not going to happen here. And then we take that 70 million, as good as he is, great season this year, especially back end. You're telling me we can't take that 70 million quid and get at least one new attacking midfielder who's 22, 23 for with all our data and all our scouting. We can take that money and we can turn that into good players. That's good business. That's the way I see this playing out. It's a little bit nasty. It's a little bit cold, but his dad has also been waving that Barcelona flag for 2 years now. So go make some contacts, man. Deco's already come out in the press saying we like Diaz. Make a fucking offer. So don't be telling the world you like Diaz and he's on your list. If he is, make us an offer. Or else shut up and stop talking about it.
No, I agree with a lot of what you just said, and I'd also just add the fact that you're right about the he just happened to be a unfortunate casualty of timing, in that when he probably could have and should have asked for his deal, he had 2 knee injuries, When he got his original deal, it was him coming off of a 27,000 euro a week salary. Like, I know people always bring up the fact of what he got signed to and what his pay was, but if he was making 27,000 euros in Portugal, we doubled his wages, went over and above, doubling his wages to sign him to a 5-year deal. And it just so happens that right in that middle portion of his contract, which is where having good seasons and being injury free, you can make that request to get a bump to your salary. It's now a case where, yeah, you had those two. Liverpool's like, let us make sure that you're going to be able to, be able to make those runs, be able to withstand, the injuries that you're coming back off of first. And then we can maybe talk and move on from there. But I think that's important. And I don't think Barcelona has the money. We just came out considering that we just got,
You're on mute. You're on mute.
No, I know. My microphone got unplugged.
Oh, sorry.
If your microphone gets unplugged, it mutes the microphone. Actually, hopefully you can hear me. But what I was just saying is,
It sounds like you're underwater though.
Oh, okay. 1 second. It must be because it switched my audio.
Bless up, KJ, man. Long time now, bro. Good to see you, man. Pops as well.
Yeah, good to see you, lads.
Red Armchair. Kevin. Me
It
as
is
well.
crazy Lucho's 55, but he signed a contract, didn't he? I know that we'd like to go and play for Barcelona. That's not where the money is for us. No way can they afford to give us what we want for him. Only Saudi can do that.
No,
So, he's going to get a big deal, isn't he, if he goes to Saudi money-wise and at his age.
If he was 26, it wouldn't be an issue,
Well, yeah, but 26, that's 2 years ago. And then, like you said, 26,
it's just timing. We said it's just all
timing.
about timing.
26, that's a different. It's a different story. You're 26. If you had this year at 26, we're probably extending your deal, if not certainly giving you a bump in your pay, to make sure that you're happy and you want to stay. But the case of the matter is that he's 28. He had those two knee injuries. He's had actually, I think, maybe even 3 knee injuries, but he's had 2 injuries back to back in 1 year. But he's played phenomenally, and in my opinion, and I think that he's one of the highest rated players on our team. Considering that Liverpool just got held to ransom for bringing in a phenomenal player, bringing in Leverkusen's most highly rated player at 150 million. If you think that Liverpool wants to give discounts on Lucho for no reason other than to move him, you're kidding. You're absolutely kidding yourself.
I mean, I've said numerous
one of
times.
the highest rated players in the world. On any team, he's up there.
Yeah,
I've said numerous times.
Elo's got some facts on the deal if you want to see.
Oh, bring it up. I don't have the chat.
Yeah, it's saying so. Bayer Leverkusen will receive. This is translated from Bild, by the way. Bild, the German publication. Saying Bayer Leverkusen will receive around 140 million euros in fixed transfer fees and realistic bonus payments over the next 5 years for Florian Wirtz. An additional 10 million euros could be added for extraordinary achievements. The fact that the total amount is spread over several years is more of an advantage than a disadvantage for Bayer Leverkusen. If the entire sum were to be paid as a one-off payment, which wouldn't happen anyway, but they would have to invest all of the money this year or pay tax on the surplus at the end of the year. So basically 140 million euros, which is 10 million, including 10 million in. So he's saying here, yeah. So it's saying, so in short, Liverpool is paying 140 million euros for Wirtz over 5 years. 10 million euros is linked to very achievable specific add-ons. This is according to Bild via Hylor, shall we say? Bild via Hylor, or Hylor
So
by
in
Bild.
essence, 28 million euros a year, and then what is that for pounds? 28 million is what in pounds?
It's about 22 million quid a year over 5 years. It's nice, tasty. Away you go. We make that in hot
That's a
dogs.
pretty good business.
We make that in hot dogs in Anfield.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The famous shirt sales with his name on it.
A Champions League, JK, a fucking 3 league titles in a Champions League. How's that for a profit? How's that for value?
I was going to say that the Mail has reported the deal as well, and they're saying that the easily attainable performance-related bonuses, such as Champions League qualification, and it's saying that Cone, where he went to when he was 9.5 years of age, from the age of 7, said that
Cologne,
they said Koln.
Yeah,
that's the Germans. It's just called a Cologne. It's Cologne. Yeah.
Okay, so 5% of the fee would see Cologne pocket more than £5 million from what?
Oh, yeah, they get a nice little fee.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Best of Lee was good to see as well, but
big up, Pops. Big up. Big up. Thank you, Hylor, for that update too. That was big up. Big up to KJ as well. Big up. If you want to speak on, there is a topic that I did want to speak on, and it's something that was, it could be troubling to hear. I'm disappointed to hear it because I think this young man has a lot of promise, and I like the player, both as a person, and as a player. He seems like a good young man, but. Stefan Bajcetic is out again, this time after hamstring surgery performed by renowned surgeon Lasse Lempänen. I think that's who is standing next to him.
Yeah.
The injury was picked up on loan as Las Palmas, and this procedure may rule him out of any preseason service entirely. This is yet another setback in a career that's already had an abductor tear, repeated muscular issues, an overuse concern dating back to Klopp's final 2 years. He made 21 senior appearances in 2022-23 season, but many feel he was overplayed too soon. I'm not one of them, but still some do. Preseason was supposed to be his chance under Arne Slot, but now that looks unlikely. And with teams reportedly interested in a permanent transfer, it begs the question: is Bajcetic now dispensable enough to plan around long term and be possibly dispensable? Should Liverpool stick with Bajcetic as a long-term squad piece or pursue a more durable midfielder alternative is now the question. It does seem that way, Lee. It does seem that he has got some type of bad luck going his way, and that's unfortunate. We all hope that you have a speedy recovery, and we're all pulling for you, Stefan. Whether it's with Liverpool or not, it's still we're all pulling for you.
It is a familiarly discouraging sight now, isn't it? Like to see him on crutches. We've seen it more than once. But yeah, it is what it is. He's got an injury. I think he played to the end of the season with an injury, and then obviously got the operation. But he was carrying it, I believe, is what I read. So that Liverpool played anyway to help Las Palmas, try and help Las Palmas. which doesn't sound that good actually. Playing when he was carrying a knock, but there you go. They were in need.
What do you think then, Brian? We'll go in reverse order here. Lee has told us his opinion. What do you think is your opinion on should we stick with Bajcetic and give him time to recover and see if we can find a place for him maybe even hold a place for him, obviously, on the team, or do we pursue a more durable midfielder alternative? I know you're big on this player as well. Yes.
You don't look. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of him in terms of what I've seen him do on the pitch. He's really good at football. That's good. But I'm also the most realistic person out here. Like, he's never played for Arne Slot, right? Arne Slot has probably never even met this guy. He hasn't played for Liverpool for 2 years. So you're asking me, can I imagine a world where Arne Slot is sitting there going, making transfer plans, making squad plans?
I know what you mean.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He played for him in preseason. He played for him
in preseason. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is he sitting there in a world where I don't need to do this because Bajcetic is coming back, and I don't need to do that because Bajcetic is coming back? I can't see how someone who's never played for someone really would be a strong part of his plans. He could come back and have to make a really good impression. Like, so in terms of, like, would he be holding back a first team squad place? I don't see why he would be. I'd love to, if he had never had that first hip injury in the first place, I can see him probably being in this squad now. But like we were saying earlier on, life is all about timing. And this guy hasn't played for us basically for 2 years. Now he goes and gets another injury. It's a hard way back into this team. It is hard to kind of. I would just find it strange if Slot had a plan that involved him, other than someone coming back to the squad that he can have a look at. I don't think he'd have like a first team place earmarked for him. But yeah, this is just a kid, like Lee was saying. He was going to be the new Thiago. Thiago was going to stay fit for a year, for 1 more year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bajcetic was going to play alongside him, and Bajcetic was going to be the next Thiago, and we were going to be blessed. That's how it was supposed to work, right? That's how it was supposed to work. So the both of them getting the same bloody injury at the same time. It's just like, yeah, they're the same player, but in the wrong way. It was supposed to be perfect. Bajcetic was going to, oh man, he was so good. But yeah, how is he a long-term option? I don't know. I would love him to come back into the squad and be good enough, but that kind of picture there.
Yeah, man.
Do you think he has nicknames for his crutches?
2 years. 2 years, a long time in football.
So much. Do you think he's got a nickname for each crutch?
No.
Yeah, Peter.
I love this shit.
One's called Peter, the other one's crutch.
But I'm hopeful that it isn't like a very bad one.
He's a lovely little footballer.
He's a lovely little footballer. A terrible injury, so he could be back.
One's called Stefan, one's called Tracy.
Yeah, one's called Phil.
I've got some breaking news, by the way. It's a bit of a weird one, but we haven't paid 126.5 million for Wirtz.
Okay.
We paid 118 million. So we have broken the record just, but we haven't paid what everybody thinks we paid. Okay.
I'm happy we broke the record anyway.
I don't know. Yeah,
what I've been told.
I don't know. Bill, Hylor just gave us what Bill,
news,
the German outlet, reported as being the numbers. And
where's that from?
From Germany.
Okay, Germany's right. Germany's right.
Yeah.
All the stuff coming out of Germany's right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. All right.
And Bill's one of the most biggest publications.
118 million. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not 126.5. So we actually did stick to our guns really and not pay what they said they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We held off. So it was about 140 million euros, not 150. extraordinary achievements is the Ballon d'Or.
Mhm.
Or
But I don't think that's extraordinary. In a couple of years,
That's extraordinary. Yeah, that's definitely.
or winning Celebrity Big Brother. You don't know. These guys,
yeah, that one as well.
Come dancing at the woman.
I will say something
Go
on
long
the Stefan one though, because I think I spoke on your show about this, Bri, that all of our young players are crocked, all of them. The whole batch that we've had come through under Jurgen over the last 5 years are all crocked, all of them, because they've all done ridiculous men's training at a young age, and there was no plan, like which is the reason why Lijnders is probably going to go to Man City and probably break off their youngsters, because they were basically doing Jurgen's football, which is heavy metal style football, and they're like 16, 17, 18 years old, like, and they're doing like full training, like, and they just shouldn't be. Like, they should be doing, it's around 30% the amount of training that the adults have. That's kind of the ratio that it should work, which is why when we had pre-season training, when we had pre-season out in America with Slot, I remember him being interviewed about the kids, and he was literally, they were all doing like a cool down or a warm down after a game, and they were asking the question, oh, where's all the youngsters? And he's like, well, they don't do that training. Like they don't do that. Like, that's not the training they do. They're doing different training. And you're like, oh, hang on a minute, this guy knows what he's on about. Because you'd have all our kids just with the men, and you'd just be like, that's not right. And then and have you named the list of players that are crocked? Because Stefan Bajcetic is just one of many and many and many players that we've had come through our youth team. There are injury prone to death, just totally injury prone. You've got Gordon, you've got Stefan, you've got McConnell, Bobby Clark was crocked, Ben Dokes crocked, Kumas was crocked, Ramsey. Like, I mean, how many more do we need?
Those were some of those were impact. They were like some of them.
Kids.
It's one thing for it to be a hamstring injury, which is unfortunate for Stefan, but the Ben Doak one was like a shoulder injury or something where he got like he
was out.
But it was like an impact injury. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, he's out for quite a long time in our under 21s. Like,
right, and also though, those, I don't remember that.
Connor Bradley, missed out Connor Bradley.
You forgot about Jaden Dans, who missed all of
Jaden Dans. God, yeah, missed out Jaden Dans. Jaden Dans, like, he can't catch a break, can he?
I'm not saying but he was.
But they're all.
The interesting thing, Bajan, I totally get where you're coming from there, but the two players that don't seem to have injuries, can you name them that are in our under 21s? Two players that don't seem to have an injury record.
Well,
can you name them?
I'm not gonna. I don't even want to name them because I know two players that are.
They never came from our academy. We signed them from West Ham and Birmingham.
No, there are two players, but I'm not going to put out the names.
Yeah, I don't want to say the names in case they get.
I don't want to jinx the players. So
no, I think the people watching would want to know who you're talking about, though.
No, I don't want to say them.
Knock on wood here.
I don't want to say them now.
Yeah. Well, the two players that haven't.
West Ham and Birmingham. I'm thinking.
No, those aren't the. I don't know what two players he's speaking on. I was just going to say the two players that we're looking to. How about this? Two players that we're looking to bring into starting.
We got Trey from Leicester.
Leicester. Sorry, Leicester. It wasn't Birmingham. It was Leicester. Sorry,
yeah. We got Nalo came from
West Ham. No, West Ham money.
West Ham.
Right.
West Ham.
Look, at the end of the day, if you're going to get that jump up from youth
I haven't said
into
his
the
name
men's
because I don't
game.
want to say his name.
Oh yeah.
If you make that jump up,
he's going to be in the mix next season. He's going to be in the mix next season. telling you.
Well,
Rio Nguema is going to be in the mix next season.
they'll be in the mix next year. Exactly. You'll see them in League Cup, and you'll see them in FA Cup games featured, and most likely as starters, possibly. I mean, actually, we all know that.
Hopefully, more than one FA Cup game.
Well, yeah, hopefully more than one FA Cup game, and we got to see Trey start in that Southampton game. I'm trying to think. There's a guy who scored in that game. I can't remember his name, but it was.
Rio's going to be.
Someone scored in that. Maybe someone can remind me of the player that scored in that game. But that helped us move on in that tournament. That was a horrible weather. That was I think yeah, it was. But it was
Did you want me to say Nunes?
There you go. The other part of what I want to bring up real quick though is this. With that news with Bajcetic, the other thing that I've been kind of pushing out there a little bit, hoping that I could put it into the universe and it starts to gain a little bit of momentum. And that is there's a midfielder alternative that we could possibly go for, and that is Tchouameni. Reports in Spain say new Real Madrid boss Alonso has made him expendable. Liverpool have been offered the player for 59 million pounds, excuse me.
Get it done.
Down from the astronomical fee quoted last summer. Remember, Liverpool tried to sign Tchouameni in 2022 before Madrid swooped in. He's got 41 caps with France. He's a proven anchor. He's only 24 years old. This offer could be a golden opportunity to pair him with a Wirtz in a new look Liverpool midfield. If we're serious about backing slot with top tier talent, shouldn't we be first in line for this player? I believe so. Would Tchouameni be worth the 59 million investment? I think we could possibly even get him for 50 million, maybe offer 50 million.
How much?
59 million pounds.
For Tchouameni?
Yes, that's what the report has being Madrid.
What if they buy Stiller or something? Like if
Yeah,
they
they
get
go
a
for Stiller.
DM, if they get a DM, then they'd be able. Like, would that be like if they get a Stiller or something, then they might be prepared to because that seems like a low price.
No,
for
it's
Tchouameni.
just that Xabi Alonso has apparently said that Tchouameni is expendable.
Well,
so
I don't want him
that's
then.
the report.
Okay,
If Xabi Alonso looks at
so-
the DM and goes,
wait,
"Not good
wait.
enough," I don't want him.
there you go,
Okay,
right.
okay. Let's
That's all
just
you need
speak
to
one.
know.
Let's speak one at a
That's
time.
all you need
Let's
to
just-
know.
If
Hold on. Let's
if
just speak
Alonso
one at-
said
let's just speak
no
one at a time. Let's
to
speak
a
one at
player,
time.
then we should say no to a player.
So, all right. So let's go ahead. Say it again, K-Mac. Let's all speak one at a time.
If
Go ahead.
Alonso has assessed his squad, and there's a number of players that he doesn't want in his team, and he doesn't want Aurelio Tchouameni, then we should not want Aurelio Tchouameni either, because Alonso is the manager that we wanted to sign. Remember, so if Alonso wouldn't have put Tchouameni in the Liverpool team because he would have been our manager, then we shouldn't want Tchouameni in our Liverpool team on the slot.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it.
He can't finish a game, by the way. I will also mention that he has trouble finishing games, like Tchouameni.
We don't. Well, with Gravenberg, we wouldn't have to. It's about basically being able to, in my opinion, having them as two alternatives at the position. But okay, K-Mac, that's K-Mac's position. Bernie, what's your position on it? Are you interested in this? If we can get him for 59 million, I think we could offer a cheeky bid, especially since we just did them a solid of bringing Trent or letting them have Trent. Maybe we get him for 50 million. Maybe get him for 50 million.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what K-Mac's saying about, if Alonso doesn't want him, why, like it's almost like a cast-off. Why would we have someone he wouldn't have? But he might not fit into his system. And he might fit into ours with the players we've got. So I think he's a good player. I mean, I'd take him. I wouldn't have any problems with it.
Okay.
You want to see his injury record and everything, and not look at his stats, but on paper, I'd take him.
He's probably got names for his crutches as well, by the way.
Goodness.
It's just an idea. It's just an idea. He's familiar to them, and it's a haunting spectacle, isn't it, to see the lad on crutches again? But this is the life of a footballer. Let's hope he gets over it. Hope he gets over his injuries, even if he doesn't have a career with us.
Who's the guy he's with?
That's cool.
Sergeant.
Yeah, that's his surgeon, Goldbridge.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Bogdan. I thought it was
Goldbridge,
Adam Bogdan.
It's Mark Goldbridge. It looks
I
like
thought it was Adam Bogdan.
Brent de Cesare, as he's apparently called. Hyder said his real name is Brent de Cesare.
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, it's Brent de Caesar.
Why would you like make up a fake name? Why doesn't he just use his own name, Brent? Because of David Brent, you reckon people
Red Arm supporter. That's a really good comment.
I know. I saw that too. Tchouameni.
Red Arm does good.
I'll ask JK this, and I'll ask Brian the same. Someone actually.
Can I answer the quick
right now
question on the
his
previous
market
one?
value. Right now, his market value, Tchouameni, according to I think Transfer Market, is 69.8 million pounds. That's what apparently his transfer value is. But this report has it being that they are willing to part with them for 59 million. I also got asked what was Baleba's market value, Carlos Baleba. And Carlos Baleba's market value is 32.8 million, but then you're also dealing with Brighton. So you're probably looking at 60 to 70 million, probably, I would say, is what they would part ways with them. Maybe even more, closer to 80, maybe. I don't know. I don't know about going further higher than 80 million, but that's what. But go ahead. Go ahead, JK.
Yeah, like the 59 to the 69 is the 10 million they gave us for Trent. So they want that fucker back. No, I mean, they're a cheeky man, these guys. But for me, bro, me and Norman have, like, since I've met Norman, he's always said DM. And I think if we had an out-and-out DM, and he's 24 years old, I know he sort of said no before and he never came to us. But I believe if he came to us, he would feel that shame and say, you know what, I want to give 100%. Look, at the end of the day, bro, we've got Endo. He's the real out-and-out DM. I think Gravenberch is a makeshift one. So for me, Tchouameni, bro, he's a player you've got to be serious about. Put him in our team with Gravenberch and Wirtz in front of him, or a McAllister, whatever. There's loads of options. But them two at the base, good age, 24, 22, not bad. You ain't messing with that midfield.
Okay. How about for you, Brian?
No, I just wanted to say on the Alonso thing, I was kind of joke, but what I meant was if I was going to ask somebody in world football right now their opinion on a DM, I think Xavi Alonso is right up there. Now, I'm not saying, Alonso doesn't want him, so we don't need him. Do you know what I mean? I just meant, look, that's all I meant. I was like, if Alonso doesn't think this guy is a top quality DM, then that's a consultant you're probably going to pay a lot of money to. That's the kind of guy
Maybe he's been fed that information though, Brian.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he's at Liverpool and he goes, oh yeah, he'd work at Liverpool, cool. I was just joking. So look, but Alonso, if you're asking for someone to like run the rule over a defensive midfielder, I mean, Alonso is probably right. Sorry, am I wrong in saying that that's someone whose opinion you would rate pretty highly?
No, I'm like totally with you, mate. We both said exactly the same thing. Like, if Alonso doesn't rate a player in midfield, then I trust Alonso's.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat saying to me, "Oh, because Alonso doesn't want him this and that." No, come on. What can you? Okay, so name me a better judge right now. If you said to someone, you're going to ring up and go, think about buying this guy. If he says, in Real Madrid,
I'd say Jurgen Klopp. I'd say Jurgen Klopp.
Let's big up Jurgen.
We've literally signed two players that Alonso has molded into superstars. So
no, but Alonso was one of the world's best defensive midfielders. He's now he's now a manager. So it's like, would you ask Jurgen Klopp his opinion on a defensive midfielder or Xabi Alonso's opinion on defensive midfielder? I think Xabi Alonso I would certainly take his opinion as someone who was one of the best players in that position in the world. I would say, look, I would judge that person. I would rate that person's opinion on him, not because he says he.
See you later, man.
Yeah, but if he says he works for Liverpool,
to tell you about that. But see you later, guys. All right, great show.
Yeah, If you said he's working on a Liverpool team, cool. I was just kind of making a joke about it if Alonso doesn't want him. But like I said, he's a pretty good judge of a DM, I reckon.
Very much so. Very much so. It's interesting to see what they'll do there. You end up buying Stella.
Are they? Everyone keeps saying this though, but are they? But like, is anybody buying
there's
this?
no concrete
I
evidence.
keep hearing this kid's name. Oh, we're going to buy Madrid are going to buy. I don't see anything about this kid going out.
But could just be.
What kid? What are you talking about?
Stella.
I just keep hearing his name, but I don't see him being bought. Anybody going anywhere?
Well, I think it's a good investment. I think it's something that, you know what, it's not considering what the player is worth, considering what, considering his age, like as in it could be something where you bring him in for at 24 years old, you bring him in, and then at 28 you move on from him. Okay, great, but you sign him for a 4-year deal, you up his value, you could probably end up getting the same value back, if not maybe a little bit more, considering at 28 you could still get a pretty high price for a player, especially one that shows real talent and continues to play for the national team, continues to play obviously for us, and hopefully win some things with us. I just think it's a good deal. I just know that everyone wants this. Everybody's asking and wanting for this DM backup and wanting this DM backup, or maybe even a more quote unquote DM type player than even Gravenberch is for some. And yet here's a player. We spoke about how Liverpool were in the running to get a DM for the last 3, if not 4 years. And this was one of our
like it's news to me that he's even available. I didn't even notice that he was. This
has actually been. I did see that this was. I brought this up, I think, a little whiles back, because there was something out there that said that he might be available, but that was when Carlos Ancelotti was still involved, still a part of the club. So it's not.
It was Camavinga last year, wasn't it? Like last year was Camavinga was the one who was going to leave last year.
Oh no! If it was Camavinga, I'd say go all in for Camavinga. Camavinga's 22 years old.
He was the preferred choice, Camavinga, in that midfield.
If I had the choice between Tchouameni or Camavinga, I'm choosing Camavinga.
But it was the other way around first. Tchouameni was the number one.
Tchouameni was number one, absolutely.
Then Camavinga came back and sort of took over last season. He was playing.
Absolutely, and that was the thing is that Carlos Ancelotti. That was the thing is that under Carlos Ancelotti, Camavinga became the preferred choice. Tchouameni got some runs, but wasn't getting nearly the runs he initially was getting with the team. He started to get out. I want to say he got out of favor with the coach, or maybe more so with the board, the higher ups, thinking that he's not maybe a part of not only Ancelotti's plans, but maybe they're looking at it as like, let's just sell and move another player in. This is how Real Madrid is very meticulous when it comes to that kind of those kind of moves. So I think there's still more to get out of Tchouameni, and I think that Tchouameni could be a player that maybe he comes to Liverpool with a chip on his shoulder, like, oh, Real Madrid thinks I was done. Oh, I'll show you done.
No, Klopp was a big fan. Klopp was a big fan of him. I think he.
Huge fan.
That was the one. There's a press conference going back a few years, and he's asked a question, and he's asked, "Do you not want to blah blah blah?" And he said, "Yeah, we did, but that player has chosen to go to a bigger club." And that was like the day after, basically, he joined Madrid. Mm-hmm. Like we bid 60 million for.
Did he say bigger club or another club?
No, he's saying he's gone to another club. He's like, we all know the player we wanted. Okay. And we made the offer for the player.
Said bigger club. I thought I said bigger club. I was going to
say no, but it was just like that's what he was talking about then with Tchouameni. So he said it in the press conference. Basically, we bid for him, and he turned us down and went to Madrid. So it's not even that we were interested in him. We tried to buy the guy before he went to Madrid. So that was when he was at Monaco.
Well,
I know, is he a Klopp guy or is he a Slot guy? That's what I'm getting at. I think he was very much a Klopp guy. But is
Yeah.
Slot still? Is he someone Slot would go for again? I'm not saying right or wrong. I just mean I don't
I
know.
think he's not only a slot guy, but he was an Edwards guy. That is also something as well.
Yes,
Like,
it is back then. It's before he joined Madrid. Where did they buy him?
I mean, this is like, we're talking like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, close to.
I was thinking it's Monaco, but I don't think it is Monaco.
Oh, you want to know where they bought? I can tell you. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some in the chat by now. Monaco, yeah, it was Monaco.
It was Monaco.
Yeah.
And before that, he was with Bordeaux.
Yeah.
He was in Bordeaux
They
in
bought
2018, and Monaco got him in 2020 for 16 million, and then 2022. So it was only 3 years ago that he moved to Real Madrid.
Yeah. So
And he's 25
we
now.
wanted him then.
He is 25. He turned 25 in January, so he is 25. There's not many DMs out there. There's not many DMs out there. I'll let you say what you want to say. Go ahead, Brian.
No, it's just agreeing with you. No, top player.
Yeah.
Player.
And I was just going to add that there's not many DMs out there that really move the needle. Tchouameni is one of those players that could be a needle mover somewhat when it comes to solidifying our midfield and solidifying some depth at the DM role outside of our utility, who's, I think now it's honest to say that Endo's more of a utility player than just a DM for us. So, and that's a positive. I think that's a positive for Endo in that he can be utilized as a right back or a right center half or a DM. You know, it's not a knock at all, but I just think of it that way. Don't know what that means.
He's basically saying, I'm wondering what all the Debbie Downers are going to be complaining about now after we sign someone like Wirtz.
Oh.
Like we just broken the transfer record. It's like, what are they going to bitch and moan about now?
Yeah, trust me. They'll find. I call them Debbie Downers. Is definitely. I call them Chicken Littles, basically, because they're all about the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
Yeah. Little red rain clouds. That's great. Little red rain.
That is a good one. Now I understand what his meaning was. Yeah. That is a good one.
People raining on the parade, you know.
Yeah. I'll remember that.
And bloody Wirtz, complain about something now, you bitches. Basically, that's what he means.
I'll be sure to give you the proper. Give you the proper
answers on a brick. That's brilliant.
I'll be sure to give you the proper acknowledgement too, Lee, for bringing up that name. But since we don't have to talk about Wirtz, which was my next segment anyway, I'm going to go into this this kind of like 2 segments together, and then I'll go into these. I have 3 segments left, but the 2 are quick and they can be combined, and then the 1 is something that get ready, Lee. The last one is your segment, just so you know, just so you can prep. If you gotta, run to the bathroom or, splash some water on your face, make it happen now. All right. So
injection nostalgia directly to your veins.
So, all right. Time for some rapid fire. As we get close to bringing the show to a close. Here's what's buzzing around Anfield, at least. I was hoping that our resident expert on Osimhen was here to hear this, but apparently Osimhen prefers the Premier League, but Liverpool are focused elsewhere. He wants £400,000 a week. So have at it, but not
set it from day one.
Yeah, exactly.
Set it from day one. He wants $400K a week.
Yep.
That's the problem.
That is not happening. I wouldn't be surprised if K-Mac pops back in real quick or something, trying to get.
He said he'll take a pay cut, $5 a week. He'll do it.
There you go. Maybe.
Matt's giving his wages up to give to Osimhen to get him in.
Yeah.
Go for me.
Yeah. This is but back to the rapid fire. Other than that, Harvey Elliott admits he might need to leave to find more game time. That is it's it's a sad acknowledgement to hear him have to say, but he just might, and it's unfortunate because I think he's a player that is deserving of some playing time, more playing time than he actually gets. There is Tarkowski's leg-breaking challenge that shocked McAllister. He spoke on how he did speak about on that. He spoke up about that in the press about how he thought it was a shocking challenge, and it was, I think, like most of us, think it was a dirty challenge. He knew what he was doing. He went into that tackle. He even went in and tried to make sure that he made contact with McAllister to try to possibly injure the player. Liverpool have rejected a Diaz bid, but still haven't offered a renewal. That's obviously, we spoke on that earlier. Endo is staying. For those of us that do appreciate our gum shield warrior, Robertson is leaning towards honoring his deal and sticking with the club and not looking to move from it. And Allison's expected to trigger his extension. And finally, Federico Chiesa is open to staying after what some consider a fringe role. I think Chiesa would be a phenomenal player to continue to pursue and bring in as a possible starter, if not possible, certainly a role player here and there. Finally, around the league, we have Tottenham closing in on Brentford's Thomas Frank. Arsenal are reportedly eyeing Benjamin Sesko from Leipzig. Manchester City have signed Cherki for £34 million ahead of the Club World Cup. Wrexham, as we spoke on, I think a couple of episodes back, are targeting former Liverpool keeper Danny Ward, and Chelsea have failed in their Ekitike bid. Apparently, Liverpool are still lurking at possibly being someone that does entertain and bring in Ekitike, but we shall see. We shall see. I'll say this: any of these moves around the league worry you from a Liverpool title challenge perspective? And who do you expect to leave from our current squad before the window closes? Obviously, this window's closed now, but the next window closes. And who should be protected at all costs? I'm going to ask that of Lee, then go to Bernie, then go to JK, and then just go around the horn here clockwise, and then go to Brian. So, Lee, you can ask either or both if you like. You didn't hear the question.
No, sorry.
Okay. Anytime. I know your tell. I know your tell.
David, you go,
Very good, very good.
That gives it away.
Yeah, I'm like, just say it. All right, I'll ask Bernie the question, and but I'll
no, go on, ask me first. Just tell me, and I'll give you the
okay.
The bottom of my house.
All right. Are any of those moves you heard that I just spoke on? Are they any worry to you, like the Sesko deal to maybe Arsenal? Is the Cherki deal being is that a game changer? Okay. The Cherki deal for Manchester City, is that an offer that you're looking to make as well? Or excuse not make, does that worry you? Excuse me.
No.
Maybe even the Ekitike.
Neither Ekitike, neither Cherki or Ekitike scares me as a player. If Arsenal to have Ekitike, I don't think they'd be like miles better than they are now. They might be better, but and Cherki, well, yeah, I mean, he's a good player. He scored a good goal for France, didn't he? But yeah, it doesn't worry me. Not worries about any of their players really. What Rodri's the only one that worries me for City. If he's fit, he's the player that worries me out of opposition teams. Nobody else really does. Maybe Bruno Fernandes when he's on form. You've got to think about him when you're playing them, but nobody else really comes to mind that I could say worries me in the Premier League. No.
Okay. How about for you, Bernie?
No, to be honest with you, I think watching Frimpong and Wirtz and Kirkus, and bearing in mind, I think we're going to get others in as well. I'm quite confident. I think we've got some fantastic signings there. If I wanted to protect anybody, it would be Mo until we could be sure that we've got well, either a striker or another goal scorer. Just think Mo was so crucial to us last year that we've got to watch him. But I mean, really, we don't have to. He cotton balls himself, Mo, doesn't he? Because he knows what to do. He manages it himself, So really, he can do that. But no, I'm quite happy. You'd always want someone more. Is that being greedy? We do need somebody, and I would agree with the DM definitely. But if we get someone, there, I'd be very happy.
Okay. JK, how about for yourself?
Like, I'm a bit worried that how come Alonso didn't put a bid in for Wirtz? Because if Alonso didn't want him,
I know. If anyone's a good evaluator of talent, I mean, he played for him, so
there you go. And I think you would have took
Wirtz isn't a
Frimpong.
DM.
There you go. Wirtz isn't a DM. That's Brian.
I've said numerous times I don't want us to sell Diaz, but like if we can get 70 million for Diaz from Saudi, then I would be open to it because we could put that towards a striker, and with the other sales, we could afford to buy Isaac, couldn't we? And just go with what we've got in midfield and centre back, Chauncey, that we just blow teams away.
Yeah, but Burton, wants Alvarez. But for me, the more than people you were talking about, the signings and that, I think Cherki is going to be a good player, bro. I think the price, if he was 120 million, like a Wirtz sort of figure, then we'd be like, oh, God, who's this guy? And I think that fee, sort of us not really getting worried about it, but I think he's going to be a good player for them.
I mean, Marmoush made a good impact when he came in, didn't he, JK?
Say again, bro?
Marmoush made a good impact when he came in.
Yeah, but I was expecting more from Marmoush, bro. I think he was good, but I was expecting more from him. But Man City finished the season off pretty well, actually. Haaland came back into it and that. But for me, Man City are the only worry next season again, like always. But I just think they've lost a lot of focus. This season's probably going to do a lot of damage to them. We'll see how they get on in that Club World Cup and stuff. But Man City signings are probably the ones. I'm not really worried. Like, back in the days, they used to buy big players. And these guys don't seem big players. You know what I mean? They're good players, but they're not a Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona type of level of signings. I think he's sort of doing like the bargain basket shopping now, Pep Guardiola. I think him buying Grealish for 100 million, got his fingers burnt. He's thinking, you know what? I better lower the cost, but they're still spending money. But Man City, bro, what they're up to. Sesko, I don't really worry about. I think...
No, I don't sweat that.
Yeah, he could score. He's a Leipzig guy, bro. You know how it is with Leipzig players. They're not really great, in my opinion. Overrated, overpriced, and underperformed. Kanate being one of them. And so I'm not worried about the Sesko one. But Ekitike, look, bro, these guys are costing big money. They're not like a £30 million gamble, oh, we'll have a little gamble on this lad. This is like 70, 80, 90 million. That's your transfer fund for the whole 2 windows, maybe, on one guy or whatever. So just crazy figures going around with these strikers, bro. Hence why I won't sweat it if we don't buy no striker because of the other things we're doing. Like, would you rather take a good striker, number 9, or sign Wirtz? Like you can ask everyone in the panel if you want. Like for me, I think the Wirtz signing, for me, it wasn't needed, but it's such a marquee signing. It puts on the map. that it's sort of it's more than just a football signing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm looking at the Wirtz thing. So for me, I can sacrifice. And we're always going to score goals, bro. That's what Liverpool FC do. With the high scorers this season, just gone. We will always score goals. Look, we played without a number 9 all season. So I could do it again for another season if it means like Wirtz and all these guys step up scoring goals as well, you know?
In the last, in the last 10 seasons, the only club apart from us basically who know how to win the league is Man City, really, isn't it? Like, is it like, Chelsea won it in 16, 17, didn't they? And that was the last one apart from either us or City.
JK, I was looking at, you know, we're talking about stats and analysis and all this sort of thing. But, you know, you still have to look at who's been winning their duels, who's done this, that, the other. And they were talking about Bajcetic, you know, if he could come back and you know, if he was fit, but he wasn't fit, obviously. But they put Endo. They couldn't do Endo for last season because he hardly played, so they did Endo from the year before against Bajcetic, and he won him in every area. You know, Endo won Bajcetic in all areas. You know, and they were saying, you know, a lot of people don't really rate Endo, and he's very good at what he does, you know. But obviously he's not getting all the games. There was him, and then another channel did. I think actually it was Dara who'd mentioned it, but they did Tchouameni against Stiller, and Stiller's figures knocked Tchouameni's off the park. They were amazing, you know. So there are players out there, and we've got our own players. If we, you know, took some of that into consideration, I think.
Yeah, it's just City's 6 times winning of the title. That's the thing that bothers me about them, is that they know how to do it. If they've got it, you know, if they've got this shit together in that next season. The other two, I don't care what striker they buy, Sesko or Ekitike, doesn't bother me. Like, that wouldn't scare me or anything, them signings. And Cherki doesn't for City. I don't talk about City. What I'm really talking about is Rodri and how his comeback goes. Because we're then back installed in the side, and if you can find the right centre-back pairing, they could be good again. They know how to win the league, as we've said.
Do you think
is Bernardo Silva leaving? We know De Bruyne is Bernardo Silva on his bike, is he? I'd like to think he was.
But do you think that with Rodri, with them losing some players, you know, and do you think he'll just come back as strong as he was before?
Hard to say, isn't it? But Nalante pointed out when Virgil come back from his ACL, we still, you know, that season we went to Paris, we nearly won the league, missed out by a point, and that was Virgil on like half like power for like 2/3 of the season or 3/4 of the season, but we still managed to have a good season like that. So they could conceivably have Rodri like on about like 70% and still have a really good season.
They're going to miss De Bruyne, though, a fit De Bruyne, aren't they, as well?
The mental side of him as well, you know what I mean?
But they've got a lot of attacking players. They've got a lot to choose from, haven't they? They've got
they've got a lot.
You know, they've got loads of players in every position, like.
Well, wait, Lee. Lee.
Okay. No, I'm just going to say, like, that Savinho lad, the Brazilian lad who came in last season, he started off pretty like lively and that, but he didn't really do nothing, did he? When you really think about it.
Seen some flashes, yeah, seen some flashes.
Man, weird. They had a weird season last season, man. Worst season he's probably ever had in England.
Yeah, I hope Foden has another stinker next season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since Lee wants to speak on players, and I'm going to give him this opportunity to say this is a Remember When session with Scouse Lee. Time to hit the nostalgia button with Scouse Lee in our Remember When segment, because this is on this day in 1987, Liverpool signed legendary John Barnes for £900,000, 406 games, 108 goals, and 99 assists, 2 league titles, 2 FA Cups, 1 League Cup, Footballer of the Year, twice. Barnes was really an incredible player. He wasn't just great. He was the winger of a generation, and he was the winger of his generation, certainly. So, Scouse Lee, where does John Barnes rank amongst the greatest Liverpool players of all time, in your opinion?
He's right up there. Shame like about the European ban with that side not being able to play in Europe because it was been good. But anyway, yeah, he's right up there. Like he was my favourite player when I was a kid because he was a winger. And we hadn't had any wingers for ages. We had Craig Johnson, who was like a wide man with pace, but he didn't do any dribbling. There was no fancy stuff with Craig Johnson. We had Ronnie Whelan on the left for quite a long time. We won the double with Ronnie Whelan on the left wing in 85, 86. But we brought in a winger with loads of pace and skill. And it was just glorious. Him and Beardsley's combinations with Aldridge in the middle. And then, you know, the rest of the team were all fine players as well. Really fine players. That's my favourite season because I was a kid, like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think he's right up there with the greatest players we've had. He could definitely fit into one of our greatest teams, no problem, like. I mean, the game's changed a little bit, like, but he was a really good goal scorer and that, like, when he got it, and his free kicks as well. His free kick, he could bend them either way. On the goal, he like has John Lukic found out on more than one occasion. But yeah, he was the man, Barnsley. Like him and Beardsley together were just magic, absolute magic. They were. He'll always be a legend, yeah, club legend.
Okay. Does anybody else want to speak on our legend, John Barnes? Again, this is. I don't
think we'd had a winger like him since bloody Highway, maybe. You know what I mean? Which was a long time since we'd had a winger that took people on. Like we went without that for a while. So when he stepped in and was as good as he was, it was just like, oh, this is marvelous.
Yeah. He looked like he was a big guy, didn't he? You know, but he was very light-footed for his size.
He had delicate, like he could sort of ballerina, like you look at a ballet sort of guy, you know, very tiptoeing and stuff. He was just like on a different level. This guy, like that top he's wearing there, one of my favourites. I would put him in my all-time 11 best. That's how good this guy was. Yeah.
It's a shame we didn't buy him earlier, so we could have fed Rush. Right, Rush was still here, but you know what I mean. We got him eventually. Like, but you're bringing Ray Houghton in that summer was the final piece of the jigsaw. Houghton, Barnes, Whelan, and McMahon was a tremendous midfield. It had everything. It didn't lack in anything. And they all scored goals. Whelan and McMahon scored plenty of goals, right? Specifically like McMahon in that season, but Whelan always chipped in with a few. And then forwards like Beardsley and Aldridge. We were quite mixed at the back that season because, like, I think it was that season when Lawrenson was finished when he got it because I think it was 86, 87 at the end of that season. He got a bad injury and he came back and played a few games, but he was done. And then he became a manager. But we still had Hansen, like, you know, we still had a good defence because Hansen was still there. But yeah, the defence was severely weakened by Lawrenson's, you know, injury finishing career. But yeah, if you put Lawrenson in with Hansen in that team, it's better. He did play in it. He did play in that team, Lawrenson, but not as much because he'd got his injury. So them two together with Nichol and it was at Burrows and who else played left back?
Staunton
and Burrows, yeah.
Best star as well in the chat.
Yeah, that's my favourite season.
Top.
I really like the 85, 86 season, but we weren't as exciting a team with Ronnie Whelan on the left and Craig Johnson on the right. And Kevin McDonald in the middle.
Kevin McDonald, man.
Yeah.
Where does he rank for you then? Still, I don't think you answered that question, Lee.
Top.
Kenny, so if Kenny's number one, Gerard's say number two. He's definitely in there. I mean, we've got other like players from the past as well who are massive club legends. Can't leave them out, but yeah, he's definitely like right up there. don't know about a number though. It'll take me a while to think of a number because then I've got to think, is it more than that? Is it more than this player, who won this amount or whatever? But he was pivotal, put it that way. He was pivotal in that side. Like without him, that didn't happen. There you go.
Okay. So, still no answer, but okay.
No, what a number on there. It's too long to think about because there's loads of players. And I've also got to include the players who were never even seen, because I've never really seen Kenny play that much. He was nearly done when I started going. He was just finishing up. But you got to count all the players in, haven't you, from the entire past when you do that. Billy Liddell and people like that. Or even Albert Stubbins, if you prefer his name.
Okay. We'll circle back to see if we can get an answer from Lee. But
That's the others then. See what
I'm joking. Lady B, what about your thoughts on John B?
Yeah, he was high up there for me. What we were just saying, he was very light-footed, but he was lethal, wasn't he, when he was scoring? But I also, like if when I was thinking about my top four, then I mean, obviously Kenny's got to be there, and Gerrard there's for me. But I also liked Ray Clemens. I thought he was a fantastic goalkeeper. And sometimes the goalies don't get the accolades that they should do. But no, I'd say Barnsley was probably about fourth for me, but he was a brilliant player.
Okay. JK?
Yeah, for me, he's definitely in my first 11. So he's one of them numbers.
Okay.
So, yeah. Would I say top 5? I don't think so.
KJ's got him top 5. Big up.
Yeah, I've seen that. I can't give him a better achievement than that. If I'm doing an all-time great Liverpool team, he's in it on the left.
Mm-hmm.
That's above Mane and whoever, So
Pops saying might be top 5. Pops is not. Pops on the fence, I guess, of that one.
Yeah, he's just on the brink.
I know
of top
Pops
5.
is a huge John Barnes fan. I know that for sure.
Well, one of John's greatest strengths was his crossing. So, we'll have two in the middle. It's a 4-4-2 formation in this greatest team, and he's definitely on the left. No one can do so.
So for me, seventh or something like that. I'd go 7th. 6th, 7th for me. Because you got Gerrard, Dalglish, Hansen, Van Dijk.
Mm-hmm. I guess it also depends. Are you saying players you watched play, or are you just saying players that you know of the history?
I've watched all them guys play I just mentioned.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm not.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you got the old school guys as well. So.
I didn't see Kenny much. I did see him.
I did see Kenny,
but he was coming to the end.
He was top. He was a top player, bro. Quality. But then you got other players as well, bro. You got Charlie Adams, them type of guy.
Yeah, you got Ian Sturgeon and Roger Hunt, haven't you? Ron Yates.
Yeah, you just got big names throughout. Steve McMahon, Souness, Kennedy. So Phil Neal even.
He'd be brilliant supplying Hunt and St. John because they were both good in the air.
You'd
have to leave Ian Rush out and Fernando Torres.
Oh, you got Ian Rush as well, bro. You know what I mean?
And you'd have to put Mo in. You couldn't leave Mo out.
There you go. There's another guy. So there's a lot of good top players. So, yeah, man. Salah's definitely on the right for me in that all-time Liverpool 11. Yeah, Salah right, Barnes left. Perfect.
it was really exciting that summer when we bought Barnes, like just seeing the news of it, and it'd show you like pictures from the training ground or something, and the excitement was palpable for me as a 14-year-old. I was just like, yes, loving this. And then the way that team just took off immediately. I think we started the season away at Arsenal and won on the opening day with a edge of the box header from Stevie Nicol. But that we started away to Arsenal, won, and then just didn't stop. It took until like November before we drew, I think, something like that. With like Derby. Until we lost, sorry, until we lost. It was Derby or something.
Souness as well, you know, he was some player, wasn't he?
Beardsley, there's so many, you know, Suarez, like, come on.
Yeah, you'd have to put
Alonso, Mascherano, whoa.
We were the first team to beat us that season. I think it was in the Cup, 87, 88, I think, the first time we lost. And then we drew at Derby or something. We might have lost at Derby. It was a bad result at Derby in that season. But the rest of the season was pretty much plain sailing. We dropped a few more points, but we just brilliant. That joy of seeing a new team playing together and like getting it right instantly. Because the makings were already there. Put John Barnes, Peter Beardsley, Ray Houghton into that. And Aldo up front. It was just brilliant. Goals.
I'm also putting it as all time because I know that some people, you know, he got that injury when the injury affected his performances in his Premier League years as opposed to the years before the Premier League. So yeah. Brian's on mute because I think he's avoiding answering the top five or the no, this
John Barnes question.
The John Barnes question, but it's all good. No, I'm just joking with them. Mo has definitely climbed into that top 10 for sure. It just all depends. If you say all time, it's one thing. If you say, you know, I know we often hear people segment these records by saying Premier League or just, you know, pre-Premier League or post-Premier League, whatever you want to call
it. See, he was a winger in the first division, John. That's where all his games were as a winger, mostly. I think he played a cup. No, he didn't play any at all, actually, because it didn't get going until 92, 93. Yeah. So his midfielder days were in the Premier League, weren't he, when he was playing midfield with Redknapp and McManaman.
Well, Mo was saying that Klopp had said to him, if you want to, you know, if you want to just come and play, great, but if you want to come here and be one of these legends, you know, with a statue or a mural or whatever and go down in the club's history where, you know, like all these legends who are around the club, he said, then you stay here. And I think that really resonated with Mo because he has done, hasn't he? You know, he's decided that he wants to break every record he can for the club. So he's got to go down as one of the club legends, definitely.
It's just very exciting to watch John Barnes. Like he was nicknamed the Black Best by some of the media, which is a good compliment, isn't it, George Best? Like, but yeah, he was just like really exciting to watch, mate. His runs and that, and he could do everything really. The free kicks, he could head the ball as well. He could score with his head. He was like pretty much complete as a forward, fit into any side. It's just a shame we couldn't play in Europe in them years with that side. But there you go. Bloody UEFA. Dickheads.
Bloody UEFA.
Yeah. The Barnsley in the white suit and he's rapping.
Yeah. He's actually pretty good too. He still raps.
Yeah.
Christmas presents.
Yeah. There you go.
He's got a good voice, you know what I mean? The way he talks, you could tell he can probably do a bit of Luther Vandross.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, he came from a very good family. His father was
military. His father was a colonel in the military, wasn't he, Barnsley?
Yeah, I think he was a governor as well of the island he was born on, I think, as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Jamaica, yeah. He was born in Jamaica.
Yeah, but he was, and I think he had all private schooling as well, Barnsley. You know, he was like...
okay.
Well, it makes sense if his dad was like a high-ranking officer. That makes sense. He would be educated.
Well, probably that's why we got the discipline to become a pro in England.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll ask a trivia question. What were the? I don't know if Norm's still a part of the chat, but what were the years? What were the seasons that Barnesy won Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year? What were the 2 seasons? He won that twice.
he's the guy to ask. Come on, Lee.
The title-winning seasons, 87, 88, and 89, 90.
That would be half points.
Hey, you got one right. I think that it's a bit later than 40.
91, 92.
Doubt it because of his injuries. It'd have to be 88, 89.
You reckon?
It'd have to be, I think, because of the injury. Unless
Nope. The question is, Pops, what are the 2 years what 2 years did Barnesy win the Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year?
Well, I'm crystal clear on
What 2 seasons? What 2 seasons?
Season. He definitely got it down. I can see
You
it.
got the 1987, 88 season. You got correct. There's one other year that you won it.
Oh, okay.
84, 85.
That is incorrect.
Is it 88, 89, is it? The year of Hillsborough.
I mean, there's only I'm not. I'm gonna wait.
There's only
to see
so many years left. Like,
yeah, I know exactly. So that's why
I just thought maybe he got it when we bought him from Watford. That's why we bought him, was because he's that good that year. So maybe it was that year.
I'm gonna see if Pops gets an answer. I don't know. I think he's scratching the dome. So is that 1990, 91, or is that
1991, I think.
or is it 90? He's saying 90. So is that 89, 90, or is that 90, 91 that you're saying? What season was that?
I said 91, 92.
91, 92. Okay.
It must be before that.
I mean, he played with Liverpool for 10 years. So I mean, there are a bunch of seasons you could technically get. I'm just wondering.
89, 90.
89 to 90 is the correct answer.
Whoa.
1989, 90, 1989, 90, and 1987, 88 years when he won the Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year. And he won the PFA Player of the Year in 1987, 1988.
Yeah, they're the 2 I said, the title-winning years. That's what I said. I said the 2 title-winning years, 87,
I know.
88.
I gave you credit. I said you got half.
Well, I thought I only got one of them right.
You got the 87, 88 right. You didn't get the other part right. That's all.
I did. I said that's what I said. The 2 title-winning seasons. When you asked the question initially, I said the 2 title-winning seasons.
What year? But you didn't say 89, 90. I would have.
It did because that's the other title-winning season.
Oh, I know. I didn't hear you say that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like,
I thought you said 88. I thought you said 87, 88, and then you said I thought something.
Oh no, I went for the 2 title-winning season because usually a lot of the time it's in the title-winning season, and the guy will get it, like a guy from the champions.
Okay.
Thank God this weren't phone a friend on. He wants to be millionaire.
Yeah, phone a friend on that one. Yeah.
First one.
We'll take that to VAR. We'll take that one to VAR. How about that? Yeah. I believe you. Can you name all the teams that he's played for?
What?
You know how Brian does that, name, he'll say this player played for this team. You got to name the teams that he's played. He'll do it in reverse. He'll tell you the teams he played for, and then you have to say the player. But can you give Barnes his run?
He played for Celtic, Liverpool, Watford, and what else is there?
Watford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so Watford, yeah. So,
Newcastle.
Oh, yep. Good one,
Hang
baby.
on.
Good
Hang
run.
on.
Good run.
We're correct.
Got 4, yeah?
Oh, who are you talking about? Oh no, Nilante.
Tyndall.
Yeah.
Nilante.
Peter Barnes, he played for after Celtic, Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he played for Charlton Athletic as well, didn't he? Wasn't
He
Nilante?
did.
Well, go on, Bernadette. Go
He
on.
did. He
Yeah,
absolutely did.
You're the phone a friend. If I'm one
You are the
who wants to be
friend for
millionaire,
sure.
you're the phone a friend. 100%.
Exactly correct.
Wow,
Okay,
wicked.
for Watford, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Charlton Athletic. That is a great career. Great career. Yeah. Pop's got Watford, Liverpool, Newcastle, Celtic, and England. He did play for England too. Absolutely.
I think he played for Jamaica one game as well. I'm sure he did.
Did he?
live on
Sure.
Merseyside, Lee?
I think he does. Well, he has got a home here. Like, obviously, he'll live in other places as well. But yeah, I think he does still live on Merseyside. Whittle.
Oh yeah,
That's
he was talking about it, wasn't he, the other week?
Mhm.
So there's a few there because Rafa's there as well, isn't he, on the Wirral?
Let's see. I don't know if he played first. Yes, he did. He captained the Jamaica national football team.
Mm-hmm.
He was their captain.
Oh, the international team.
While in the army, Barnes was a semi-professional footballer for a Jamaican national Premier League club and also captained the Jamaica national football team.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he played for them.
It's like that old joke, isn't it? Jamaica. No, she went of her own accord.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for Barnes when he's manager.
If I'm wrong, then you'll have to. Yeah, he did. But he did play for the other team that I was talking about was the Sudbury. Sudbury, is that how you pronounce it? Sudbury.
Yeah,
Sudbury Court.
Sudbury.
Sure, that's in Suffolk.
He didn't have any appearances, but he was on the team.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And
did he play for Kingston? Because he was brought up there, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably did.
As from what I just Googled, it said it was that he played for. I'm gonna double check and make I'm just double checking because when you Google it does say that he played for the national team, but I'm double checking and making sure because he's saying that was his dad. It might be.
Oh yeah, he was coach, wasn't he? Yeah.
If you've seen the amount of videos made on YouTube about Wirtz signing, all opposition fans got faces like a dried tea bag. Like they are sad, bro. They've made videos about it. This is what I'm saying, bro. This Wirtz deal it's more than just football.
Yeah.
This is like, oh.
They're all scared. I was reading before, JK. They reckon that if it comes through the way it's supposed to, it'll be the most expensive signing in English history.
Yep. Big signing.
And Liverpool cracked it.
Yeah, it doesn't go over the Caicedo fee that much, does it? Like, but it's a bit more than Caicedo. A few bob more than Caicedo. So it'd be nice for us to have the transfer record. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the money the others. Look at the money United have wasted, like on Anthony, Sancho, Hoyland. Who's that other one? They had the winger who didn't work. But, there's been a few.
he's had the blonde taken out of his hair, which is just as well because he looked a bit ridiculous, I thought, with it. But that's just a fact.
Garnacho.
No. On some of his reels I was watching, but he had like blonde, like highlights all on the top of his hair, but he's had them taken out, hasn't he? Or is it,
I don't know. But yeah, when us buying Wirtz and breaking the record fee, when you consider the money that's been wasted by other clubs, hopefully this will just look like a snip once he's in the team, and hopefully, God willing, it'll be a success with Arnie guiding him and with the other players around him. It probably won't look that big a fee after a while, hopefully.
And you can just see Mo taking him under his wing. He'll really work with him, only you can see that, he'd be thrilled, Mo, to have somebody of his calibre alongside him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It said, when you Google it, did say that he played for the national team, but I think he only coached the national team. Just so you know that. So we'll see. I'll make sure. I'm just looking through his Wikipedia here. Wikipedia could be sometimes incorrect, but yeah, I don't see anything about in his international career. I don't see anything about Jamaica. I see that. Let's see.
He coached Tranmere Rovers.
Not in this thing. He did. As Barnes entered discussions with the Jamaican Football Federation in September 2008 regarding the possibility of him managing the Jamaican national team on September 16th, 2008. Barnes was appointed that manager of that team, and he brought on his assistant with him. He guided Jamaica to a first-place finish in the 2008 Caribbean Championships. And then in 2009, he inquired about the Tranmere Rovers football club position. And he was appointed in 2009 to that position. You're absolutely right. So, anyhow, we are going to end the show here. Went a little bit over time, but all the same, it's always fun to have the conversation. Trying to get, especially when we're trying to get an answer out of Lee, rather than him sitting on the fence about some of the greats. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I'll come up with a number for you eventually. I'll come up with a number for you eventually.
There you go. Okay. And I when you Google it, I Googled John Barnes, it came up with he played and coached. But also I know, but in Wikipedia right here, it does have him as being a coach for Jamaica. But I don't see anything about him playing for them. So here we go. There they land. Just as KJ said, we get our man in by getting in one of the top talents in Europe that will be joining our club. Hopefully there'll be some other announcements being made very soon. Even though they might have been signed today, maybe they're holding off on the announcement so that they can get their proper accolades and proper attention towards the signing. Other than that, we'll go real quick around the horn. I know Brian was with us earlier, but he had to drop out. He had to do some stuff. So big up to Brian and Anfield Irishman. And big up to KJ, who joined us twice. But big up to him for joining us earlier as well. Lee, do you want to say anything to the people before we let them do their thing?
Just cheers to everyone for taking part, for your comments and your contributions. And it's great news, isn't it, that we got Wirtz. Seems to have been confirmed on the same day as we bought Barnes all those years ago. And that could only be a good omen, hopefully.
Absolutely. Lady B, would you like to say something to the people?
Yeah, just reiterate what Lee's just said, and thanks for listening to my waffle. what I've had to say, but thank you, and good night.
Okay. And last but not least, JK.
Peace up to the chat as always. Pops, KJ, Red Armchair, everyone, Dara. Good to see you. Press the like on the video as always as well. That'll be a big up. And bless up to the panel as well.
Shout out for sure. Okay, with that, we will wish you all a great night and a great morning for some. And as always, we will end it with Up the Reds, as always. Big up to each and every one of you, and we will see you tomorrow. Hopefully join with a friend, for another friend, so we can keep moving towards that 1,000 mark. And again, until then, we wish you all the best. Take care.